In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And tonight we're in for a treat. We are joined by us, an awesome guy, a crazy guy, a Welsh sensation, Nathan Bacon. How are you doing this evening, Nathan?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, awesome. I'm awesome. Literally, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us. I believe this is the first time you've done an FPL live stream. Is that right?
Live stream debut right here.
Absolutely. So yeah, massive thank you for being here tonight. I know a lot of people in the community have been looking forward to having your thoughts and having you on air with us, answering questions and getting involved in some of the call-ins that we're going to have. Nathan's echoing. 1 second. That's my problem. That's my fault. It's not Nathan's problem. 1 second. There we go. Say hello again, Nathan.
Hello.
Give everybody a big wave in the chat. Go on. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. There we go. There he is. He's all there, guys. No more echoing. And we've got the chat fixed as well. The chat is fixed, so everyone can be happy now and everyone can have their comments seen on the show. Thank you to Streamlabs for being so broken. Drop a like if you're like, what? If you're freeloading. Yeah, can we get some likes in the chat? We need to get at least 200 likes on this show, guys. Otherwise, Steve-O will probably beat us next time he goes live. So thank you to Salt&Side, Liam Healy, Bradley Lloyd's there, to Rodrigo Mimoso, Faraz, Firetog, we've got Rationale 360 TM. Hi there. We will be taking calls tonight. Yes, that's correct, Firetog. We will be discussing a few points as well. What's going to happen to Harry Maguire? What next in the epic story of? Well, let's be honest. Either he's fibbing, or the cops are fibbing. One or the other, and it's going to be very interesting. He's obviously now dropped from the England team. But we'll start off. Nathan, for those people that are watching the show right now who don't perhaps know you, I mean, it's crazy because we all pretty much know you. But if anyone that doesn't know what you're about, tell me, what is your channel on YouTube and what sort of content do you do?
Right, I'm the most epic FPL tuber there ever is. We got all the Gameweek previews and reviews, and we just have some fun. Don't take FPL too seriously, but we still take it seriously in terms of the players, but just have some fun with the commentary.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Nathan Bacon's decided to, or Nathan, I should say, has decided to wear a shirt, a Dortmund shirt, just to
Sancho FC.
Sancho, yeah, he's not going to be at he's not going to be at Dortmund next season. He'll be at United, I'm sure. Either him or
James is back up. So,
Dan James is back up. Yeah, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, it's obviously him or Messi, one of the two. Take your pick.
Yeah.
But no, Nathan. So you kind of do FPL sort of comedy, but also at the same time some serious information that you try to put across. Yeah. It's a bit of a twist, really, the way that you present it. And I can tell there's a lot of effort that goes into each and every single one of your uploads. Straight away, when I first watched you, I was just like blown away by the quick firing, the wit and the comedy. And what got you into doing that sort of type of channel in the first place?
Yeah, well, I have a YouTube channel, not FPL, but it's kind of a failed YouTube channel. So I've had some views and some subscribers on that. So I've kind of had the knowledge of how to do it, but it didn't really take off. And then last year, I've always played FPL, but last year I saw some content and I was like, yeah, I'll go and have a try at some football content. And then it's just gone into what it is. Yeah,
I mean, you've grown and grown and grown. I mean, your subscriber base is, no, this is from memory. I mean, like 13 or 14,000 subscribers. Am I close?
I wish, but half that. 6,500 sexy subscribers right now.
Oh, okay. I was wild. Oh,
sorry. I mean, yeah, it's definitely 13,000.
Yeah. So you should have just said 13,000. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you. When did you start? Sorry, how long ago did you say?
It was start of last season. It was. As soon as the game announced, I saw a live stream pop up, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll just create one." And I was starting like a summer job that summer. I was like, "Oh, I'll just fill the time by doing this." So I started it, and then the first few got a couple of hundred views, and then one of my first ones got like 25,000 views, where I was rating some people's teams. Where I actually give you a shout out. in like my third video and something as well, and some other people, and that took off. It went off on Reddit as well. I got like close to 1,000 subscribers straight away.
Oh,
so.
that was the one when you were doing the reviewing, basically you're shouting out channel, and you were doing the rave to our intro.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that was it. I was just like, that's probably. I think that was one of the first times I saw your channel. Is when someone posted it in I think our Discord. And I watched it and I was like, oh, he's mentioning us here. This is pretty funny. And then you were going through all the content creators, and no, I genuinely thought you were going for longer than that. Just the production quality of the show, obviously, it suggests that. We've got people in the chat that probably want to talk to you on the calls as well. But another question then really is the types of videos. So the video you uploaded yesterday, I just want to just touch on the strategy for Game Week 1, Game Week 2 for those people wanting to possibly take a little bit of a risk. Do you want to just kind of run it through? I mean, the video was very well crafted, but I'm sure you could just give us a rundown.
Yeah. So a lot of people, especially this season with the blanks, are looking to do that early wild card. And I thought, a lot of people are looking to do then the Game Week 1 as like a free hit, and then the Game Week 2 activate the wild card. But I thought, why didn't you do that and also make the Game Week 1 a bench boost free hit? So you load out on 15 players that you all want, which you can't normally do on a normal bench boost all throughout the season. Because remember last season, I actually kind of did it. Well, when there was a break and we came back in Game Week 30, I did my entire team for a bench boost.
Yeah, it was perfect because you could set it all up.
Yeah, and I had 138 points that week. So it worked. Obviously, that's a bit different. It's halfway through the season, but it's actually less of a break than now. So we could see some of the teams, similar, but obviously transfers are going to change it. So it can kind of work. And especially if people want to do an early wildcard, then I think that's a good idea.
Do you know what? There is definitely legs to this because I think the majority of people that use their bench boost that I know had the unlimited transfers did very, very well because they had the freedom to pick the 15 very good players, knowing they had all those transfers available. The strategy of wildcarding Game Week 2 as well. I mean, again, having the sample data from Game Week 1 to kind of see how teams are lining up, how players are starting to perform, any surprised omissions or such and such. I mean, obviously, price rises is another thing which everyone seems to jump on straight off the bat. And obviously, over the course of the season, we all know, like you mentioned, the value in your team, if you can get like 5, 6, 7 million, in team value over the course of a season, your team can shape up completely different to someone that's only got 101, 102, 103 million of team value. So yeah, definitely. I started to watch it, and I must admit, I was like, you what? Bench boost Game Week 1, and then it's like this guy's obviously just making a bit of a joke out of it or something. And then when you started to read off the points and kind of the pros, because you went through the cons straight away, didn't you? You just got them out of the way.
Because it is something that could literally change a season. I don't want to do it right now, because if they fail, then he'll come back to me and I'll be like, no. But I think it could be good, yeah.
No, I think that it might have inspired a fair few people to give it a go. I seen in the comments have said that there's a few people going to give it a go. So are you prepared for the backlash? You just disclaimed
it's going to work out. It's fine. There's not going to be any backlash. It's fine.
You mentioned that you were considering it. Are you still considering it? Oh. Are you there, Nathan? Hello? There we go. You're back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, back. Oh, there we go. Like that.
Yeah. Are you still considering that tactic? I know that you said on the video that you were considering it. Obviously, 24 hours have passed since.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually decided. When I made the video as well, I hadn't decided at all if I'm going to do it. I still haven't. But then, I kind of almost convinced myself, but I'm still not a definite yet. I still have a team, not doing that strategy just in case. And obviously the transfers are going to change everything as well. So,
Cool. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly adjust your webcam because you've gone. I think the Skype has readjusted everything, which it tends to do. Trust me, this is a thing that we had with Steve. Are you on Wi-Fi by any chance, Nathan?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the Wi-Fi. Do you know,
I'm on the third story of my house. I can't get an Ethernet cable up there.
Hello, Dean Lewis, that's watching us on Periscope. How are you doing, Dean? Thank you for joining us. Do you know, it took me, genuinely took me 2 years to get Steve-O away from Wi-Fi. Like, he had the same issue. He was on the third story, and the only way he could do it in the end was running like a 50-meter cable up of 3 flight of steps. And it's the most impractical solution to it whatsoever. But he ended up fixing the issue. So I'm just messing your camera around a little bit now. There we go. So that was a great video, and I'll be interested to see how your team shapes up. And if you do that, I think you're gonna get a few eyes on your channel if you do something like that, because that's pretty heroic, mate.
I think it's something that can really push you forward right at the start. And obviously, some people will look to, as soon as the start, if they haven't had the best of the week, they're going to look up some of the people that did really well, and it might actually look a lot better than it probably actually was, but still pretty good.
Yeah. So moving on then. So when did you hear about us? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Well, when I first started doing some videos last year, I started to have a look at what other people kind of did, because my first video was like a first draft because everybody did that, but then I was like, what do people do after that? So I had a look around on that, and I saw one of your channel. Yeah, I saw your channel. You were one of the first ones to have a look at, and very good. And
So you've been a Discord member. This is a good point to bring up. You've been a Discord member for quite some time, but you're not very known in Discord. Is that because you don't ever sign in, or do you just because?
I do always. I'm always on the Discord, but I don't think I've said anything at all. So yeah.
So you might get some messages now. Now you're it. But that's awesome. So we've got some callers already in the waiting room. So we'll get them on shortly. Are you able to post your team at the moment into the team screenshots channel on Discord?
Do you want my bench boost one?
Well, have you got a team? What is your team right now as it speaks on FPL?
All right, I will send that right now.
There we go. And guys, this is whilst Nathan's doing that, I just want to remind you guys, if you are enjoying the stream so far, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to us, hitting that notification bell to let you all know when we go live next. We're also on Twitter at Elite FPL, and we've also got a massive or everly growing Discord community. Over 1,600 FPL managers now sit in our Discord, talking everything about FPL and the wider world of football. We've seen some great news with Messi. Do you want to quickly touch upon that while I get your team up? What do you think is Messi rumour going around that he's obviously leaving to go to Man City?
Yeah, well, he can't go to Man United because he would be Dan James' backup. So I guess Man City's the next best thing. And that would actually be really good. I actually think he would actually take the De Bruyne role, though. So if he did that, I don't think those two players work well, because they are the main creators of the team. Having two really creative players, when Messi plays with Dybala, for instance, at Argentina, they both can't play just because they're too similar. But it would be amazing to see if Messi in the Premier League.
Messi,
he would break FPL.
Yeah, I think that's the question. Would you be getting him in no matter what price point?
I think you have to. I just think you have to.
Just to say you own him.
Yeah, I think FPL would just turn into a 14-player game without a captain if that had happened, wouldn't it? You just always have Messi as captain. And
I think it's the stuff dreams are made of. Nobody ever thought that Messi would hand in a transfer request. Everyone kind of just assumed that he would play out the rest of his career at Barcelona. But, rumour mills are turning at the moment, selling papers and stories all over the internet that correspondents here, there and everywhere are declaring that it's Man City that his destination is open for. And it's going to be very interesting. The next few weeks or months is going to be very, very interesting in terms of, ins and outs of the Premier League, and also this strategy, the bench boost and wildcard strategy, it would obviously, you're not factoring obviously the transfer deadline obviously would be a lot later than that, so you would miss out on a few transfers, wouldn't you, if you were to wildcard game? But you also mentioned that in your video, didn't you? That's one of the cons with it. But this is your team up on the screen now. McCarthy in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Doherty, gone with a double up of Wolves there. Doherty and Vinagre, Justin, who I'm seeing more and more and more in FPL picks. Mohamed Salah, Aubameyang, Greenwood, who's obviously going to be Souček, I think you said in your recent stream. Souček and Greenwood's are going to be on your bench. Werner, Ings, and Mitrovic. So yes, the question is, people jumping on Ziyech at 8 million. You're deciding to keep with Greenwood and have Souček coming on for him. What's your thought process in that? It's just trying to get ahead of the bandwagon of Manchester club assets.
Yeah, ahead of the curve. I think a lot of people are going to transfer them in. And my Game Week 2 transfer might actually be Salah to Bruno, which seems crazy, but
that's my plan.
Like fixtures. Yeah.
That's my plan. And, that's my plan. Yeah, I've got them.
Yeah.
I've got them all written down. Yeah. Right. So my plan is Salah to Bruno Game Week 2. Aubameyang then be playing West Ham, and Bruno will be playing Crystal Palace. Aubameyang would then become Salah Game Week 3. And then Bruno would then be playing Brighton, and Salah would be at Arsenal. And Game Week 4, Bruno then would go to De Bruyne. And then Salah and De Bruyne would play for me, Aston Villa and Leeds. So it does work with fixtures. It's aggressive transfers, and I don't know if you know, but I'm not scared of taking a -4 or -8, or every now and again, just to be a bit aggressive early on.
3 hits last season. I tried not to, because the ones I did just didn't work out at all. But I'm not against it, especially now with a blank. So so that's your team up on the screen. It's out of the players on the screen, in your team, who's up for debate for you? Like, if you were to, 2 weeks ago, I think everyone is probably, but McCarthy in goals. There's that player they had on loan that went to Celtic, Foster. He's actually back. I saw him. They tweeted about it earlier or something, or was it Gunn? I'm not sure. But McCarthy could be thing, but he has the best fixtures. And then Trent, Doherty, Salah, Aubameyang, probably Ings and Mitrovic are the ones that I guaranteed in my first team, I think.
Ings and Mitrovic, guaranteed, sort of.
Just because of the fixtures mainly, and also the form they've been in. So, and then Werner's one of those I'm not too sure if he's going to do it, but I'd rather him do it in my team than out of my team. So, I mean, let's be honest. Everyone I've seen has pretty much got Werner in their draft at the moment. Recently, I mean, Mitrovic is a great pick, as we've talked about on the show as well. I think he will start off well. The fixtures are there for him. I've seen the Vinagre pick and Doherty as well. I mean, it's pretty much standard, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's not beat around the bush about it. But the bench boost team would look a bit different though. I did see that. I did like the look of that. But I think it's probably time to just quickly talk about who's saying what in the chat. Linguistic Llama's there. Steve-O's there. Is that true about Doherty? Both teams agreed a fee. What's this about Doherty? Oh yeah, he's linked to Spurs right now.
Really?
The Aurier replacement. Because the way Spurs play when they're attacking as well, their right back is basically a winger.
Wow.
But if that happens, I actually think he's possibly a better pick. Because of the way they sell. We saw with Aurier last year with how attacking he actually was. He's a winger, which, a little bit more forward than a wing back. So I actually think he'd be good.
Wow. And Ben Chilwell is officially signed for Chelsea.
5.5 million, not too bad.
Yeah. No love for Tierney, says, who was that? Who was saying that? FPL Dave. FPL Dave's in the chat. Hello, how you doing, mate? Maitland Nuts. I'm a Spurs fan and this is news to me, says Michael McAteer. Doherty to Spurs.
I don't think there's
15
any
million.
like credible source behind it, but
15 million?
probably.
No way is it 15 million. That's well too cheap.
I think Wolves submitted a bid for Ainsley Maitland-Niles though, and that got rejected.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a few rumor mills going around at the moment. We've got 276 people tuning in, and Steve-O's tuning in. I know Steve-O's been looking forward to this stream this evening. King Kun there as well. Matt Doherty is a still good pick if he's joined Spurs? Question mark. Yes. Yeah. The fax thing. Yeah, the fax. I mean, who uses faxes now? Like, come on. It's like... Matt Doherty looks like he's going to join Spurs now with Wolves and Spurs agreeing a fee. Yeah, people talking about that. Messi's now on the next flight to Manchester, says King Kun. Which side of Manchester? There we go. Shout out Big Daddy with the beans. Got a brain in chat there. There we go. Right, so we'll get a caller on. Let's kick off the show with a caller. We've got some people there in the chat. Big Daddy with the bean is actually in the waiting room. Big Daddy, who's got a can of Heinz baked beans as his profile photo. Is this someone you know, Nathan?
Slightly, yeah.
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
He's like one of my best friends in real life.
Really? Oh, awesome. Yeah. So Big Daddy with the beans, good evening and welcome on to our show. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm super. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear us? You might be listening to the stream. If you're listening to the stream,
yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right. Are you listening to the stream or you got us on Discord? I think he's watching the stream.
Yeah, it's 2-second delay.
I think he's watching the stream and then. Yeah. Turn the stream off and then talk to us through Discord because otherwise there's going to be a lag. There'll be a bit of a delay. We'll get there. It's not the first time this has happened.
Come on, Big Daddy, you can do it.
Hello, Big Daddy. Can you hear us?
I do.
All right, Big Daddy. Have you got anything to ask Nathan Bacon? You got anything to ask Nathan Bacon? Apparently, you know each other in real life. Oh no!
Hi, Bacon. How are you, lad?
I'm good, lad. How are you?
This is like SpaceX.
Wibbly wobbly.
It's like we're talking through a fax machine. It's taking 10 minutes.
So we've got smoke signals, and we have to translate it. Big Daddy, what? Go ahead, man.
My question is.
Go on.
How much do you think Messi will be on for Man City on FPL?
FPL? Too much. I don't know. He's going to be like 40 million, isn't he? And it's just going to break.
14 million.
I don't know. I could see it, mind, because I feel like if they price it anything lower, then everybody will definitely have him in. But at least if they put him at that price, they're at least given the option, like, you are probably better off not buying him. But, have that balance.
14 million minimum, I think. I think, it's going to be very interesting to see if it happens, how much he will be and how many people do opt to bring him into their teams. Big Daddy, I don't know what it is, but there is a bit of a delay. We'll try and get you back on later on, but we're gonna move you out for the moment because obviously the delay is a bit of a problem. So I'll probably log out of Discord, turn the stream off, log back into Discord, and hopefully you'll be able to hear us through the Discord app, assuming you're using the app. We've got NH in the waiting room. NH has been waiting for a little while. Good evening, NH. How you doing? Good evening, Mr. NH. Can you hear us? You just need to unmute your mic, my friend. That's all you need to do. You can do it. You got this. You've got this. Come on. Okay, NH is not there. Right, let's bring in Joshua Neal. Joshua, is your mic working, Joshua? Good evening. This could be a hat trick. This could be a hat trick right here.
Hello.
Oh, it's working. Hello, Joshua. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm really well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Is this the first time you've joined us on the show?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's the first time I've watched one of these streams, but I think the first of many.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And do you know my friend, newly acquainted friend Nathan Bacon over there? Are you aware of him?
Well, yeah, I'm actually subscribed to his other YouTube channel that he's got.
Oh, brilliant!
So through that, I found him on his FPL.
Yes, and what have you got to say to Nathan about his Game Week 1 team? He's got it up on the stream on here.
Firstly, I think that team's really good. I'd have gone for a slightly stronger defence, but I think, you've got to put money elsewhere.
Stronger than Doherty and Trent?
Well, not the flex, but I've got Doherty, Bolly. Not the flex, but I've got Doherty, Bonnie, and Van Dijk, so we'll see how that runs. Alisson and goal, yeah. I've dropped the team in the
Oh,
team
let's bring it up. Let's bring up the team. Then.
Clean Sheets FC, I think you're going far, aren't you?
I mean, clean sheets are the points, aren't they?
Yeah.
Clean Sheets FC. Well, that's definitely a tactic. I mean, the whole the Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold double up. I quite like that idea as well.
I looked into that, but I think price-wise, I want to stick with the double Wolves.
Yeah.
Because if you see that, I've got Aubameyang and Salah in mid, and then Jimenez and Werner up front. So I try to put that money elsewhere. The fixtures are just too mouth-watering. Is that right? That's the reason why yourself and Nathan have doubled up with the Wolves defence. And what do you make of this? What do you make of this kind of rumour that's going on in that Doherty's going to Spurs? Is there any weight behind that? I haven't actually read about this, so I've been working all day. I'm the same as you, to be honest. I've not heard much of it at all, so not to be abrupt, but I'm the wrong person to ask about that. I've not seen a lot about it.
I want to, if there's any credible sources for that, that'd be great if people can talk to us about that. What's happening?
I'll definitely be looking into it.
Yeah. So yes, looking at the team going forward, then are you going to be rotating those midfielders, Salah, Aubameyang, 12 million?
Almost definitely, yeah. Well, you might notice on my team, I've looked at the fixtures for the upcoming, 10 weeks, I suppose, and I've purposely avoided teams that have got first week blank game weeks, and possibly teams that have more difficult games, because just kind of want to get those early points in and see where it goes from there. And obviously, we'll then see how much players increase and decrease by, and see, what I can move around. But yeah, I think it sounds ridiculous, but having Aubameyang and Salah there midfield, I think it sounds ridiculous, but it's almost having money in the bank. Salah and Aubameyang, they could be brought out for cheaper players to then move that money elsewhere. It's
the versatility of having at least two premiums in midfield, isn't it? Having those price points. Are you not concerned slightly though that with Man City being the way Man City are, I've seen people with Kane in their drafts that that gives that price point available to switch to Aguero, with the money stacked up in midfield to get in Aguero. You're probably gonna have to take a point hit. Is that something you're prepared to do, given the sample data we get over the first couple of weeks?
It's something I'm going to look into, because my front three at the moment, obviously we need Werner to prove himself, in the Premier League, that is. So I'm not too focused on moving around the front three, because the mid there is obviously quite a strong mid. You've got two pretty attacking midfielders, Aubameyang and Salah. So I don't know if I'm going to be changing the front three. It
reshuffles the dynamic of your squad, doesn't it? Now with
exactly
those, that, So it's not just a case of getting Aguero, and it's also a case of shuffling around your midfield as well to accommodate that. But Nathan, you've been obviously looking at his team, and what stands out to you? To me, Alisson in goal.
Yeah, it's a lot of people aren't going for these premium goalkeepers like the Alisson Ederson. Because I don't know, they are actually a really good option though. It's as a safe clean sheet, but it's just the save points. So I personally don't like doing it. I can see why other people do. And if there was anything to change, I would probably just put St. Maximin captain because he's probably going to get more.
Okay. I mean, you might... Sorry, go on.
No, you carry on what you're going to say.
Well, you might call this a bit of a different strategy, but I view my team more as an actual 11, an actual team itself. Not Alisson's playing for Liverpool, Doherty playing for... I view it as an 11 and, see how these 11 would play together. And through that, then, I sort of try and work out, that defence... Obviously, it equates to points in the very long run. But I think that defence obviously would help Alisson. And then that midfield is going to help the front three.
Right. So, the thing is, I slightly look differently. I look at players that are really important to their teams. So, players that are central to everything that they do in attack. So, like a midfielder and a forward, generally if they're on penalties, corners, free kicks, set pieces and such. Defenders wise, I mean, the popular picks are the fullbacks that bomb forward. So, your left backs, your Doherty, Trent right backs, and these players that we are proven to be high point scorers in FPL. But like Nathan said, in terms of goalkeepers, the reason Nick Pope was such a great asset last season, and everyone was thinking about, well, not everyone, but large majority before the blank game week was released, were jumping on Pope straight away, just pure for the save points. We all know that save points, likes of Fabianski in the past, who've brought monster hauls out, and I had Ramsdale in for one game. They do get 7, 8, 9 points for clean sheet and save points. It is worth considering over a more expensive goalkeeper, an option that generally is in a better defense, isn't going to be isn't going to be having as much shots put their way, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. I'll be honest with you, Jason. This is my second season FPL, so I'm a bit of a rookie. So maybe that's something I should look into, obviously before the first game week. But I mean, it's funny you guys call me clean sheets FPL at the start, because that is essentially what I'm trying to go for: plenty of clean sheets, keep that back strong. But I'm not at all adverse to constructive criticism like that. That's something I definitely think about, take some time out and really think, have I wasted too much money there in goals?
I mean, if you're happy with the rest of your 11, and essentially, if the peg fits the slot at the end of the day, if you've got that money available to go with Alisson and you're happy with that, then go with it. Your team is pretty strong there. Anyone other than Alisson, Nathan, that you might question in that team for game week 1?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Ward-Prowse as well, because in the system Southampton play, they kind of sometimes he's a bit more back. I know he takes set pieces and that, but I'm not too sure. But I actually do like the Alisson in terms of if there is a really cheap goalkeeper that there is playing much better, then you can just downgrade straight away. Where if you add a really cheap goalkeeper and then someone slightly more premium starts doing really well, it's really hard to get them in. But I like the look of it.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty solid team. Second season playing FPL, seriously, and I think it's a pretty safe pick. Your team's not too risky. What did you make of Nathan's strategy? Not to sound overly silly here, but it blew me away. I was really interested to see how it would all work, how it all fits into place, and someone that doesn't necessarily 100%, get FPL at the moment, still working on it. Like I said, bit of a rookie, so it's really interesting to hear these strategies. And when you hear something like that, as I'm, a guy that likes to jump on those kind of things, I might jump on it nearly. But I'm in two minds, because, like I said, it was really interesting to watch and listen to. That strategy was really new and incredible to me, but it's a big risk. Yeah, it goes against a lot of what FPL, the old school FPL players, building for 5-6 game weeks and looking at fixtures, planning ahead. It's almost like you're kind of ripping that up. Because essentially you're going in blind, like we all are, but you're going in with the best possible bench boost, and then you're going to be ripping it up for a wildcard game week 2, essentially, to kind of reformulate that team, bring all the points back to where they need to be. It's a very different way of thinking, and not like you said, Nathan. It could mean you being in the top 100. At the end of the game week, or it could be. Yeah. But like you said, the worst case scenario, you've had a slightly above average game week, because even if you've had a bad game week, you're going to get those points in, aren't you?
The extra players, yeah,
definitely, yeah. I think people will be toying with some bench boost drafts. I think. Hello, Dylan Byrne there with a subscribe. Thank you ever so much. But thank you ever so much for joining us this evening, Joshua. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. I hope to speak to you again. Yeah.
And you, thank you very much.
Yeah, come on again sometime. Cheers, dude.
Oh, happily, yeah. Right, thank you.
Cheers, mate. That was Joshua there. Thank you ever so much, Joshua. Got people queuing up to come on. But Nathan, quick question. We'll have a bit of break before the next caller. Talk me through the process of doing a video on Nathan Bacon FC.
Nathan Bacon FC. It's actually quite a long process. I spend probably around 4 to 5 hours scripting just exactly what I'm going to say. And but it does sound a lot worse than it is, because I'm like doing other stuff at the same time, like watching podcasts and that, whatever. And I usually script it word for word, but I don't always go off the script. It's just to make sure I don't miss a key point. And then once the script's ready, I record the video. I record every video on my phone with a mobile lav mic, which is actually really good quality.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then I use like a little ring light as well. And then it's usually about 30 to 40 minutes recording. And then once I've done that, also in the scripting, I plan completely how I'm going to edit it before I've even done it, which can be quite hard for some people to like think about. But it's a lot easier for me to do that. So then I know later on it actually saves a lot more time during the editing, and make sure I get everything right when I'm recording it as well. And then the editing can take sometimes up to like two hours. And then it's all done.
So it's quite a process, really. It's a planning and preparation stage, then the recording stage, then the editing stage. So it literally is. It's a masterpiece when you put it together and you finally got that finished product. I bet you feel pretty relieved once it's all And when you hit the upload button. What do you kind of just like, right, go back and refresh it, see what the general comments are and the reception is?
Yeah. The problem is when you like script ideas though, especially if it's like jokes or like when you script it yourself, it's funny to you, but once you've scripted it, read over it 3 or 4 times, said it, then looked at it in editing 3 or 4 times, by the time it's actually on YouTube, I'm like, wait, is that even like funny
anymore? Yeah. Because believe you me, it as a viewer, it is. It's really good the way you've put it together. And we got a question from Parthan in chat. One question, Nathan. What editor are you using, if you don't mind me asking?
I use Premiere Pro, and I have used Final Cut as well. That's basically do the same. But Premiere Pro, I really like it.
I feel like a bit of a noob. I use Sony Vegas. Like it's what I know. It's what I've used for since like. Well, I think it was actually Sony Vegas before it was bought out. That's any more questions for Nathan? Feel free to put them in the chat and come on air as well. Let's see if we've got any other things that are going on. You watch podcasts, says Hen. I think he listens. The thing podcast, right, Nathan? Right.
Yeah.
A video can be a podcast. All right.
Yeah.
It can be a podcast. All right. This is a podcast, but it's also a YouTube show. We want to be we're a YouTube show that's also a podcast.
Yeah.
So there you go. Because we're going to be syndicated. Well, we are syndicated on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Just throwing that out there, guys.
Yeah.
And big up to those guys listening up to us. Because believe it or not, right? I've had my eyes opened, and Nathan, this is something which you can consider as well. Apparently, there's an absolute mass of people that listen to audio content, like more than what we actually realize. And I've been getting some feedback from people, and there's quite a lot of views in terms of audio only content. So it might be worth ripping some of your videos and throwing them out on the podcast platforms.
I don't think my type of content would actually work as well in audio.
Because it's very visual, isn't it?
Yeah, because mine is all of the editing is visual usually. So.
Yeah, but you do run through your team. Like you do a commentary.
I could do it. Yeah.
You wouldn't have to re-record it. You just throw down the MP3 and whack it. Yeah, just throwing it out there. Did you go to film school, Nathan? Says Vince Chapman.
No, I did not. No, but I did in A levels. I did do photography, which is some editing stuff in there as well, and graphics. So I kind of knew how to do it from there, and also just experimenting, pretty much.
I just find it absolutely amazing that you do your videos on a phone with a LAV microphone. I mean, is that why did you go down that route? Like, is it because most mobile phones these days have got better quality cameras than any like regular webcams, and it's just like easier to plug in a microphone to a phone that is to buy a setup?
Yeah, well, I had my phone already, and it does like 1080p front facing, so I can see myself. So I also have a camera, but because I couldn't see myself, I couldn't like frame it up properly. And then my webcam, when I first tried it, my old setup, the lighting wasn't that good. So I thought I'd just try it with my phone, and it's worked. So I might as well carry on.
Wow, there you go. I mean, it works. I listen almost exclusively to audio only, says Harbour Boy. Mark Burns saying I listen regularly to audio too. Experience the Storm says podcast platforms do work a lot better for exposure than YouTube. I've had my eyes open because I don't consume a lot, if any. To be honest with you, I don't really consume much audio only content. So I really do appreciate the feedback from you guys. And by all means, if you are listening to us on any of these platforms, on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, hit us up in the Discord or come onto YouTube and let us know like how it is and how your experience is, because I'm genuinely interested in that sort of avenue for our content as well. So what's this about here? Thank you, Popcorn, for the sub. I appreciate it. What about Roman Saiz? Says Ace Adventura. Is he a starter?
Starting on the yellow cards. You get so many yellow cards, so starting in the referee books from the start, I think.
And finally, opinions about Dyer, says Ulrich Blendstrup in the chat. I think he's a decent option, a cheap option for Spurs. I mean, it's Spurs, and I'm kind of like, meh, don't want to touch him.
I think he's one of those safe picks. He's not going to get you a lot of points, but he probably will get some. So he's like the in between, like risky and like not risky.
So very quickly, I make a bit of a running joke about Spurs, about the fact that I would never touch them with a barge pole. I did, crazily in my first draft I actually showed on stream, I had Son and Kane in it, and it wasn't a bad team. And it might be one of these seasons where Spurs actually start really well, and I kind of have egg on my face in the fact that I didn't go with that lineup. But Tottenham, is it been on your radar at all? Like Son, 9 million, Kane, is he a bargain at 10.5?
Yeah,
could switch out.
I think Kane is actually a good option because with Mourinho, their strikers usually really like to strike. They usually shoot a lot and is the main source of goals. I don't think Son is good, but in terms of FPL, I think he's good just because of the price. You can move him on. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. You never know. A Mourinho masterclass could happen, though. So
could do. Yeah. Hello to Dave Claxton on Facebook watching us at the moment, and to Gregor16A who's watching us on Twitch. Is 4 at the back a valid option? Yes. Yeah.
I actually prefer 4 at the back. Yeah.
4-3-3.
Yeah.
I've seen 4-5. I've seen 4-5-1s as well that have been pretty decent. Yes, so I think 4 at the back is definitely a valid option. Right, let's get another caller on. Say again?
Yeah, I'd say if you do go 4 at the back, I don't like having like 4 expensive defenders then though, because then that's all.
I think two expensive defenders and then some kind of like good cheapies. Yeah, get some good cheapies in. Right, we'll get some people in. We've got Peachy. I don't know if we've had Peachy on before. Good evening, Peachy. Can you hear us? We're live on the
I can hear you. That was unexpected.
Yeah, I just drag you in as and when. I will try and get through as many callers tonight as possible. So if you are listening in and you're in the waiting room, we'll get to you. We're going to have to kind of just time them a little bit now. So Peach, you've got a couple of minutes to just talk about FPL. Are you looking forward to it, my friend? Whereabouts are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from New Zealand, so
New
miles
Zealand?
away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've got your team
Right
up here.
nearly here.
I've got your team up here, and isn't it funny, Nathan? We got your friend full of beans, or whatever his name was.
Big Daddy with the beans.
He's what I presume by his accent, he's in Wales as well. He's got like a 5-second delay, and we got Peachy from New Zealand, who's got almost instant. It's funny.
Across the world.
Peach, you've got your team up here. McCarthy, Alexander-Arnold, Vinagre, Walker-Peters. I like the Walker-Peters pick. Hoiberg. Ooh, interesting. First time I've seen the Hoiberg in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah, I just wanted to double up on. Well, I wanted a 5-point midfielder, and I thought I'd double up on Spurs at the start since they have 3 good weeks in a row, or 3 all right weeks in a row.
Well, that's almost perfect because I was just talking about Spurs and about how I wasn't even considering them. So we'll get to that in a moment. Aubameyang and Son as your premiums, and then you've got Barnes, Harvey Barnes, and then you've got Jimenez, Vardy, and Werner up front. So, yeah, a very, I would say, a relatively balanced team. You've got a bit of money up front, though, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of money up front, but
Yeah.
I want the money up front because I don't plan on going Salah in the midfield, and I want to switch Vardy to the Liverpool striker, whose name has blanked me.
What, Firmino?
Yeah, Firmino. Yeah, that's the one.
Really?
Yeah, I want him instead of Salah.
When I think of Bobby Firmino, I think great player, great football player, but not so great FPL asset. Like, he does everything, like everything a manager wants. Like, for that sort of role, he's a workhorse, and he does a lot for the team. He does a lot for Mane, he does a lot for Salah. But in terms of an FPL asset, he's really, to me anyway, he's not in the positions where I want him to be in.
It was just money, really.
It is.
I wanted KDB over Salah because I just think he's consistent year in, year out, but getting points. And Man City are like goals galore all the time. So I really wanted KDB over Salah, but I still wanted Liverpool coverage. And I was contemplating going the big two in the back line instead of going for any of their forwards. But then I want to get involved in the Liverpool attack. So it's like Firmino's at the price point that's affordable because no one else in the midfield is really worth it. Like Henderson, I don't think I'll go for Henderson.
I'm gonna ask you one final thing before we move on to Nathan to kind of digest and dissect this team. But are you not concerned about Man City, Man United game week 2 onwards and how you are going to be like possibly switching out to get those assets in? I'm talking the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, Aguero if he hits form, if he starts.
I'm worried about trying to get into Man City. I'm going week 1. I'm just so I don't miss out, I'm gonna get rid of Aubameyang and just suffer for the second week, not have him versus another easy fixture. The hard one will be getting Barnes out and Greenwood in because that's my plan, but I'm not sure I'm hoping that'll be affordable because everyone will be going for the big ones like Bruno Fernandes and stuff, and I'll be able to get in on Greenwood instead, and the price change won't hurt me too much.
Well, I just love the fact that we've got a different team to look at. And Nathan, Peach's team's up on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. And
yeah,
it's different, isn't it?
It is different, yeah. I do like a lot of those options. Like Barnes, I think not many people are looking at, but we saw when he scored like 19 points last season. He can do it. And then
I think he's good for the first 2 matches.
Yeah, like, with the Greenwood move as well. I think that's something that I was considering if I did want to bench Greenwood at first.
What price is Barnes? Sorry,
Barnes is 7.
Have you not considered Maddison?
I was tossing up between Barnes and Maddison, and then I've watched a lot of videos, watched your guys' videos, and then after listening to FPL Heisenberg or something yesterday, I decided on Barnes instead. And as what he says, carries a lot of weight. He's got a big rank every year round. So I was like, fair enough. So I went with Barnes.
This is one of those teams that I can. It's the old cliche. It's one of those teams I think could be the the go-to template if they all like do well. Like the likes of Son, for example, great fixtures. We know that he can score big. You know, you talk about Leicester with Vardy and Barnes. It could start off really well. Leicester obviously had a poor end to the season. They could try to bounce back away at West Brom first game. If they get a decent score there, people will be jumping in on those price points. Prices will start to rise on those players as well. You obviously have got the Werner. You've got the Jimenez in there too, Alexander-Arnold. You've mentioned you haven't got Salah. That would be my biggest worry, is not owning Mohamed Salah.
Liverpool courage.
Yeah. I mean, but you have got Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes, Nathan. What have you got to say about the love of Leicester?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those ones where if they do good, everybody would be on them, and if they do bad, no one, because they're like, not a top 6 team. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a risk at start because they haven't been in the best form before, but it's not all about that. They could just go firing off straight away.
Yeah, I think you might have to prepare yourself to have exit plans for some of those players. Certainly, if they don't start well.
They're mostly there so that we can get, because I don't want to put Man United and Man City in the first week's lineup. Otherwise, it would have been Greenwood straight away instead of Barnes. So the team has changed since the first draft before the fixtures came out.
Cool. And did you, by any chance, see or hear earlier on about Nathan's pretty interesting strategy of the bench boost wildcard?
No, I didn't hear that.
You need to check it out on his channel, Nathan Bacon FC. You need to check it out, definitely. It's a very, very good video.
Cheers, man.
How long have you been playing FPL for?
This is probably the first year I'm going to take it real seriously. I usually just make a team and then we play in the mini leagues, and a lot of the players are set and forget, and most of the time I don't do any transfers. And this year I want to try and take it seriously and plan things a bit better and actually get more into it.
That's great. I mean, one final question. How long have you been watching our show, and what got you into our content, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I've been watching your show now for about 2 weeks since getting ready for FPL, taking it seriously this year. Just because you guys have a lot of knowledge around, or like on YouTube is where I mostly watch, and it's where you guys have a lot of information.
Well, I think that we tried to have a conversation about certain options and try and analyze certain combinations of players and discuss them. So I think nobody's got the magic wand, but we can all have an informed discussion and have people on that have got different viewpoints. Having different viewpoints is so important. I cannot stress that enough.
Thing, this is kind of why I watch you guys so much, is because you get other people on and I get to hear everyone else's plan and see what they're thinking, and then I can incorporate that into my plan.
We get people from all across the world. Yourself is in New Zealand. We get different supporters of different clubs around the countries around the world, and they've all got their different opinions of their own players that play for their supported teams, and it's really interesting to hear the reasonings why that they've selected those certain players. And I think having a broad and open sort of kind of field of information is healthy. Steve-O quite often mentions that he doesn't like the noise. He doesn't like to have too much information from other people to kind of like affect his decision making. I'm the opposite. I like to hear. I'm still going to make my own decision. I'm not one of these people that, and I'm sorry guys if I'm going to offend you, but I'm not one of these people that like rate my team and then someone comments saying I wouldn't have player A, I would have player B, and then I'd switch them out straight away because one person that I've never met before in my life has told me that I need to do that. It's like, make your own decision. You're a human being. You've got your own mind. You've got your own brain. And having this discussion is really healthy. And I appreciate you joining us and talking us through your team. And how set is this for game week 1, if you don't mind me asking?
This is one of the last ones I've settled on. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just trying to figure out getting the other big players into the team, and I've still got $1 million to spare. So if I want to change someone up, I can. But I kind of need the $1 million.
You've got $1 million to spare. There you go. That's your Aguero. That's your Vardy to Aguero. If Vardy starts
I have options.
There you go. That's what you should have said to me when I was saying all about planning ahead and stuff with I didn't realize you had $1 million in the bank. That's good. That's very, very good.
I wanted to try and keep $500,000 or $1 million in case prices change, so
very
that
good, yeah.
I don't get screwed over.
Brilliant. Very good. Nathan, you got any final words for Peachy?
I like it. Maybe with that 1 million, you could upgrade like Vardy to Kane and Højbjerg to someone else if you still wanted 2 Spurs. You could also have Kane. That could be an option as well.
Yeah, they do. Good 3. That's a good idea.
Or you could get Antonio in, like Nathan says, he's going to bang a hat trick game week 1. It's fine. No, thank you, Peachy, for coming on, buddy.
Cheers.
I hope to speak to you again soon, buddy. Take care.
Cheers.
Peachy, everybody. So yeah, we've got we've got 449 people watching us at the moment. That is absolutely insane. I think that's a new record. That's a new record. You're gonna have to come on next week, Nathan. It's fine. We're gonna make this a weekly thing. I'm liking this. So what's your schedule for the next 2 weeks? I mean, I hear it's not that busy, right? But yeah, thank you everyone. If you're new to the show and you're liking it here, hit that like button. It really helps us on the YouTube algorithm. It's actually proven over the last week or 2. Nathan knows all about that. The likes, the comments as well. They're so important, aren't they?
Yeah. Go in.
Yeah, if you want to support us, that's the way to do it. Who will Southampton face in game week 1? Says it's Marsosa. Well, it's on the screen. It's Crystal Palace away. Tiflis, Crystal Palace. So yeah, McCarthy and Walker Peters double up there for Peachy in defence. I think that's not a bad move there. A group of Barca fans. I keep calling Barca. A group of Barca fans entered Camp Nou. Security couldn't stop them. They are trying to go for Bartomeu, who is inside. There is a massive tension around Camp Nou. The police have had to intervene. Oh, interesting. Breaking news there. Unconfirmed reports of unrest around the Camp Nou this evening. Obviously, unconfirmed. Obviously, that's just coming from chat, but interesting. Obviously, Barca fans not happy with the board.
I don't think anybody would be if Messi wanted to leave your team.
It might be a bit late, though. It might be a little bit late. But we'll bring on another caller this evening. We've got a lot of people tuning in, a lot of people queuing up. We've got Danny Waz is there. Danny Waz, we'll get you on. Danny Waz, good evening. Danny Waz, are you there? I think you've got yourself muted at the moment. Let's give him a second to see if he listens in. To unmute himself in 3, 2, 1. Oh, Danny, no. Right, we'll get you on maybe later on. We've got FPL Anderson. Let's get him on. FPL Anderson, good evening. Mr. Anderson, how you doing?
Not too bad, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm super, mate. I'm super. It's what day is it again? Wednesday. It's a Wednesday night, and we've got 440 people watching, and we've got Nathan Bacon on the show with us. It's crazy times at the moment. How we've changed since from last year. But good evening. Have you got your team in the screenshots, Ian?
Yeah, I certainly do, mate. It should already be in there. I've already posted.
Let's bring it up here. Then here we go. Right, so Nathan, I'm going to get you start off with this one. Your friend, Mr. Kane, that you just suggested to Peachy there up front with Werner and Mitrovic. Go ahead. What do you think?
I like. Yeah, Egan. I've seen a few people with him, and I'm not too sure. I think Sheffield United are actually not going to do as well next season. I don't think they'll be in a relegation battle, but like they're going to be a weaker team than last season. Ramsdale isn't quite Dean Henderson. I know it's not too much of a difference, but I don't know. But if they get Brewster on loan, they've been linked to that today, then they could be good. But yeah, apart from that, I like.
It's a lot of the similar players, isn't it? It's the main price points. I mean, the Kane pick, obviously, the money's been taken out of midfield there to afford Kane. Hello, Richard Bain. Thank you ever so much for that subscribe. What's your plan then, and Ian, going into game week 2 and onwards with your team? I've asked people, with the Man City teams. I'm assuming you've got that price point with Kane as a kind of as an enabler for Aguero. Is that right?
Maybe not just that, but more the fact, like you say, it's top end striker cost, it's the maximum you can get for that position, so it just gives you a bit more flex. Depending on form, obviously, then I'd like to try and see if I could revert back, as everyone wanted, to the 3-5-2 formation. So I've obviously got the 3 strikers now, so when one goes, I've still got the other 2. But regards City and Man United, I did actually do a draft with De Bruyne and Martial on my bench, but I just said
De Bruyne and Martial on your bench, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know, and I was thinking maybe I would be able to capture when everyone jumps on him and make the money on him. But to be honest, having it on the bench is probably not ideal first game week. I'd rather just drip feed the players.
To be honest, I'd rather do the bench boost game week 1 and the wildcard game week 2.
That's the good thing about.
I honestly would rather do. I honestly would rather do that than have that amount of money on my bench not playing.
Yeah.
Same as the price point as well. I've got. I don't know if you've obviously noticed. I've gone for Lloris. That's purely
I've
because
seen that.
I want to go set and forget with Pope for the full season, regardless. So that's why I've done that.
Right, there you go. So it's a placeholder for Pope. So yeah, what's your thoughts of this rumor going around of Messi joining Premier League? I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask any more callers. I'm just curious because it's just been mentioned in chat. Have you got any thoughts on that? Do you think it's any substance
I don't really
to it?
know what to make of it, to be honest, because I think it all depends on this with the president. I'm seeing some rumours that he's resigned, and then I'm seeing some rumours that they're wanting him to resign, and that'll be the key factor for it. But I don't really know. It'd be good for the Premier League. Obviously, he's a class player, but I don't know who's going to be able to afford his wages apart from Man City.
I've just read a comment in the chat, and I don't think it's true. I think it'd be ridiculous if it's true. But Gonzalo Higuain off to Leeds on a free, says Mohammed. But in chat, absolutely nothing. That is absolutely unsubstantiated as far as I'm aware. If you can provide me a credible source for that, I'd be interested. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's not happening. Considering a Trent captain over Salah, says Notorious Nerd. Interesting. So out of that team there, so we're playing a 3-4-3. Out of that team there, who are your uncertainties? It's got to be the midfield 3, isn't it? And Kane.
To be honest, it's more on what Nathan's already picked up on with Egan, because I didn't actually have him. I had Justin, but I just don't feel, especially with Chilwell going, I don't know how I feel about Leicester. Vinagre is obviously a good budget. Again, with Matt Doherty, I don't really know how I sit with my defence. Trent's the only nailed one, and I did actually try a draft with having Van Dijk that 1 million shorter for another set and forget because he won't get rotated. So to just free that extra million up, I don't really know with the defence, and that's the bit that's annoying me.
I think it's a really balanced. I mean, I wouldn't say it's too balanced. In fact, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money up front with Kane and obviously Werner as well, but it's a slight deviation from the template. But obviously with Harry Kane with the fixtures, they are very nice. They are very, very nice, and it has that money which you said that you can free and release for pretty much any other striker that you choose. I just feel that.
Who would you change, Nathan, in that team if you could?
I don't know. I would probably change it to like a 4-3-3 and drop one of St. Maximin and Armstrong. So if you got like I know you said you don't like James Justin, but if you got like another cheap defender in, you could probably upgrade Egan as well. There's a little bit of money there.
Yeah.
But not too much.
No.
Anderson, thank you so much, man. You got any final things to say before we move on to the next caller?
Yeah, just spot on for obviously everything that's gone on with Elite over the last year. Doing incredible stuff with streams, and the website's obviously developing quite well now. So keep it going, mate.
Well, thank you ever so much, and obviously thank you for the hard work that yourself and the rest of the moderators do in the Discord and on the streams. You know, it's notable. You know, when we have the the idiots come in, you deal with them pretty quick. So thank you so much for all your support in that one, in that respect.
Same as the podcast, like you mentioned earlier. That's why I mentioned the audio situation, because, like you've just said, it does have a wider audience, and it's probably going to help.
Do you consume content in audio form only then?
I have done, yeah. Like the other night when I sent you that message in our WhatsApp group saying about it, and I only saw that obviously your first draft was uploaded. I just thought, well, it helps you do other stuff as well with obviously like YouTube on your phone.
Yeah.
You can't multitask unless you're a premium member.
Yeah.
So it closes the app, so you can't do anything else. So with audio, you can obviously multitask.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, you can have it playing on your phone with this phone turned off and all that jazz. And I can see the reason why you're obviously doing a task or something like that. No, this season we will be putting a lot of effort into making sure that every main show goes out to the major podcast platforms. But yeah, thank you for that insight, Ian.
No worries.
I'll speak to you later, buddy. Take care, dude.
Thanks a lot. Take care, Nathan.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
There we go. It was Ian Anderson. We've got Crazy Jack. Crazy Jack is the epitome of a Lacazette fanboy. Like, I don't think we won him on just yet. Can't be dealing with that. Just a moment. James Palin, 18. James, can you hear us? Oh. James, are you there? He keeps leaving. He's shy. James, are you there?
Hello?
Hello, James. Good evening. You're live on the street on the Elite FPL podcast, or show, whatever you want to call it, with myself and James Bacon. James
Bacon.
Nathan Bacon.
You're first. My name's changing.
There we go. He's left again. It's James Palin. It's James Palin and Nathan Bacon. It's like a tongue twister. James, I'm going to have one more chance. James, every time you try to talk, I think it's moving you out. There we go. We'll move on to someone else, because I can't keep dragging him in. Stefan Pro. There we go. Stefan, good evening. You're live on the show. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, mate. I'm great. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. Have you got a question for Nathan?
For Nathan, I just want to tell him that I love the Dortmund jersey. I'm a Dortmund fan.
Hey.
So keep wearing that.
Yeah, Sancho FC, as I said.
Sancho staying. That's what I gotta tell you. Sancho
Yeah.
staying at least for one more season. At least that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, I think he will.
Stefan, have you recently discovered our show, or you've been a long-term viewer?
I watch FPL content on YouTube for quite some time, but I recently discovered you on your last stream.
Oh, really?
I was trying to get
Okay.
on, but I didn't manage to get on last time, so I was like, I set a reminder for this stream. I was like, gotta hear you guys this time.
Okay, get on. Have you posted your team in the team screenshots channel at all?
Yeah, I posted it in 7:41.
7:41. Let's have a quick look. Is that your local time, or was it?
It's a UK time.
2 seconds. While I scroll through. Nathan, you got anything to ask him? Have you found his team?
No.
Have you posted it in the team screenshots channel, or have you posted it in the Rate My Team?
I posted it in Rate My Team.
7:41, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, one sec.
This
is great. Normally I find stuff pretty quickly. Can you just post it again for me? Is that right?
I'll just post it again.
Yeah, do that, because it's hard. Life is hard. We got what people are talking about in the chat while he does that. It's in my rate. Yeah, you've posted it in the Rate My Team channel, man. You need to post it in the team screenshots. It's the one above this voice channel that you're in at the moment. Steve-O's on holiday. Steve-O's on holiday at the moment. He's down in Torbados. What else are people saying here? Hashtag free Sancho is being in from Zimmy. Notorious Nerd as well. Free Sancho. What, from Dortmund? He doesn't need to be freed from Dortmund. Great to see Nathan here, says Zed Ali in the chat. 442 people watching. Formation for Gameweek 1 is confirmed. Thoughts on Easy to Palace? I haven't really got much thoughts on that.
He's actually a really good player. I've watched him in the Championship. and that would actually make Palace actually have some good attacking players.
What position is he?
He's I think he's a striker, winger. He can switch around, and he had one of the most assists and goals in the Championship last season.
Wow.
So he could be a good player.
What price point's he at?
He's not actually.
Oh, he's not right. Okay.
I think today he's having.
Barnes, the Palace fans all on that. He's like winger and attacking mid. There we go. Easy, baby. Is he going to be in your team then, Barnes? Is he? Let's quickly have a look to see if you've posted it, Stefan, in the team screenshot.
Team screenshot.
You have indeed. So is it up on the screen now? McCarthy in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Vinagre, Lascelles, interestingly. I see a black and white Magpie shirt there. Justin. Mane, Aubameyang. All Mane. Ooh. Aubameyang, Ziyech, Ward-Prowse, and Kane, and Richarlison. Okay, some differentials in this team, Nathan.
Yeah, I like it. Lascelles, I think, will be a much more popular option soon as he's actually declared fit, because they have good fixtures, and when he's in the team, they play really well. Richarlison, though, that's the only one I'm not too sure about. Yeah.
Well, he was banded around before the fixtures are released. I did see Richarlison's name being banded around a little bit in the Discord and in a few drafts that I saw. I think it. Obviously, being a striker now. I think is he 8 million?
Yeah,
he's 8 million. Yes.
Is he gonna outscore Mitrovic in the early part of the season? 2 million less. That's the question I ask myself.
For sure, outscore Mitrovic. Mitrovic is so overrated, in my opinion.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, he's got some nice fixtures, and Fulham are gonna really have to take advantage of those fixtures, otherwise they're going to be doomed.
I'd say he'll score at most 3 goals in the first 10 games.
Oh, there we go, Dre's get a timestamp on that one. Fair enough. So, why Richarlison? What do you see in what's Everton's fixtures like? I'll just have a quick look. What do you see in Richarlison then that brings him into your starting team game week 1? Because the fixtures aren't too good, are they?
The fixtures are actually all right. Only the first, as far as I remember, the first game week is a bit tough, but later on, the next 2 are all right. But the thing is, I tried to get him in firstly because I plan to get in Jimenez in game week 3 or 4, and I have 0.5 left over for Jimenez right now. But I think that Richarlison could be an interesting differential since he's the main man of Everton. I mean, I don't see who else will get the points from Everton. So I think he could be an interesting differential. And anyways, I think it's good to have 0.5 in the bank just for emergencies.
Well, you got a few fans in the chat. So Dread FPL and Talcol both agreeing with you that Mitrovic is a bit overrated and is not convinced by him. Fixtures for Everton attacking are quite good. Lucas says, they have got West Brom at home, game week 2, Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, game week 4. And then they got a tough one there with home to Liverpool game week 5. So game weeks 2, 3, and 4. Very, very nice fixtures there for Richarlison and Everton. Yeah, I mean, so certainly one that's below. We talk about players that are below the radar, don't we, Nathan? Richarlison is floating there underneath the radar. Even Tottenham could see him doing something.
Yeah. That's the thing with Richarlison. I don't like him as a pick, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he scored in every other game in the first 10. So yeah, the only problem I have with him though is sometimes he lines up on the wing for Everton, which obviously means he's less involved. But yeah,
I think if I was actually going to go with Everton, I think it would be Calvert-Lewin. I'll go with. Have you not considered him for 1 mil less?
Calvert-Lewin, I don't think is reliable enough. I had him last season, but then started being pretty inconsistent near the end. So, not sure if I would risk it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, talk me through so when you set this team up, are you looking to play on differentials with the likes of obviously with Richarlison, with Mane, and with Kane? Obviously, the fixtures for Kane we know about, very nice. That price point you can downgrade to pretty much anyone else. Obviously, Lascelles in there too. What was the thought process with going Mane over Salah?
Well, personally, I don't even believe Mane is a differential. I just think Mane will outscore Salah. This season, I believe it will happen. We say this every season, but I think this will actually happen. We've seen obviously Salah's still amazing, but we see him declining, And Salah tends to score a lot versus these really unstable and relegation teams. But Leeds, I think, will be a pretty good defensive team, and I think Mane generally performs better against better defensive teams. And so I plan to get rid of Mane for Bruno.
Yeah, my only concern between Mane and Salah is that there's so many more chances fall to Salah than Mane. Like, I watched a lot of Liverpool last season, and the likes of midfield, they play through Salah so much. In terms of chances, Salah gets the pick of them. But he's not very consistent in terms of finishing. But I agree, Mane's much better. I think Mane, and out of the two of them, Mane's a better finisher. I just think that Salah he's just got some more chances.
And I won't be too gutted because I doubt Salah will have an amazing couple game weeks. But I'd get rid of Salah before Chelsea, so I can get in Bruno, because I think Bruno is the most obvious pick in this whole FPL Premier League.
What's your thoughts, Nathan, on Sadio Mane? Not in a lot of drafts at all that I've seen myself. Has he been in your mindset at all? Obviously, Salah's on penalties, and obviously Mane on the opposite side there. Do you think that he could be outscoring Salah next season?
Yeah, I think he actually could. Yeah, I think he is a better footballer than Salah, but the way Liverpool play, like you said, they kind of go through Salah. But I think he could be a really, really good option, especially if he starts getting better than Salah right at the start. Everyone's going to jump on him, I think.
I think the frustrating thing for me is that with Mane, I owned Mane for periods through last season. I got so frustrated because, again, I'm going to blame it on Salah. Sorry, Liverpool fans. But if Salah lifted his head up, he could have probably got another 7-8 assists that easily banked for just squaring it to Mane. Like, instead of shooting, he's so selfish, Salah. Well, Mane could benefit so much better. If Salah started to be more, if he looked up more, Mane could really benefit and score a lot more goals. That's basically what I'm saying. But the only thing is with Mane, the benefit of the goal, you'll get the goals, but you'll probably get the assists from Salah. So it kind of cancels it out anyway. But no, Nathan, any other points in this team? Obviously, we looked at. You mentioned Lascelles.
Yeah, I like the Ziyech pick as well because he is a good footballer, and if he does well, he will do well. But Chelsea, with all of the transfers, if they get more potentially as well, then they're going to be first, who are they going to play, and then are they actually going to be good? So
definitely, like you were saying about the game, having a small samples data, game week 1 onwards, people will be looking to ship out players that aren't making it through into the starting lineups. We talk about Chelsea. We still don't know for definite what Lampard's going to do with that starting 11, what formation he's going to play, what's going to happen to Giroud. Is he just going to be basically a cut player, a bench player that's going to come on as an impact sub? Tammy Abraham, where does he fall into it? And Mason Mount as well. There's lots of questions. Obviously, be interesting to see. I think this is a different team. I can't really fault it that much. Again, the closer to the season, the more information you get from the pre-seasons and any transfers that come in, it might affect your starting lineup. You set on a 4-4-2?
Yeah, I've got a 4-4-2, and it'll be like this for the most of the season. I think I think this midfield is very solid, and especially Ziyech. I think Ziyech will be a pretty good player. I reckon he'll take the penalties for Chelsea as well.
You sound,
Stefan. We know he takes set pieces.
Stefan, Stefan, you sound pretty set on this team. Just listening to your voice right now, you seem like a kind of guy that doesn't listen to the crowd and doesn't go with safety, and you're not afraid to kind of think a little bit out of the box. How many seasons have you been playing FPL, if you don't mind me asking?
I've actually, it might be a surprise to you, but I started last season.
Started last season, okay. And what did you learn if anything, from playing FPL last season?
Oh, well, I learned, firstly, don't mess with the goalkeepers. Maybe you switch around the goalkeepers once you have a wild card. That's about it. Otherwise, you really have to look at the logistics, like set pieces and all of that.
Do you consume much? Do you consume much content on YouTube forums or Twitter and social media? Do Do you look at threads? Do you read articles? How do you
This summer I started looking at so many YouTube videos and started seeing, like, whenever I had a question about a player, I just look his name up on Twitter and see what the people are thinking. It's just obviously I like to stick to my own choices, but I also like to hear what other people have to say.
Cool. Stefan, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight, mate, and thank you for sharing your team. It's, those different players, and look forward to having you on Game Week 1, digesting it, maybe on the Sunday surgery. We will have a few of you guys on that's showed us some of your differential teams and how they performed, and there'll be massive respect for those people that have stuck with their slightly different picks. But Stefan, thank you, man, and
thank you.
Say goodbye to Sancho, mate.
Sancho, bye.
See you, mate. See you, mate. Take care. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stefan, for coming on there and joining us. Guys in the chat, what are the guys in the chat saying? Nathan, have you got the chat up?
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to read anything out? Anything spike your interest in the chat at all? What are they talking about?
Kane hat-trick Game Week 2. Who have they got Game Week 2? I'm not too sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kane gets back-to-back hat-tricks straight at the start, and everybody is just going full on.
Southampton away.
Maybe not then. I don't know. I think Southampton are going to be one of the better teams next season. Definitely top half, because they've actually been much lower down, way underperforming. But Danny Ings is going to do it.
You say Danny Ings. I mean, are you surprised that he's not in a lot of these drafts that we're seeing tonight?
Yeah, I think it's the thing with FPL where if a player goes up a lot of price, people instantly think they're not a good option. Because, for instance, because he was so cheap last season, but I think Ings will probably be on par, maybe even a bit better than Vardy. But I've seen a lot more Vardys just because, maybe he's done it more as well. But I think they're going to, next season, they'll probably do around the same. And because of that price increase from before, then people are turned off.
Definitely. Anything else that sparks your interest in the chat before we bring on the next caller?
No, nothing I can see right now. What we got?
480 viewers, apparently. That's ridiculous. I'm not even looking at the view counter. It's just crazy. Thoughts on Dele Alli? Do you want to speak to about Fix-It's comment there?
Yeah, when Mourinho first came in, Ali was actually Spurs' best player. He was getting all the goals and assists, more than Son and Kane. So if he's back and fit, then and he's cheaper than them too as well. So he could.
He's very much for me hot and cold Dele Alli.
Yeah.
He can play really well one game and then he can just be absolutely anonymous the next. He's so frustrating. I could only imagine how frustrating it would be as a Spurs fan. Having a player like that. You just don't know what you're going to get with him. Let's bring on the next caller. Do you want to pick someone in the waiting room? We've got a lot of people there.
Who have we got? Go on, FPL Crisp Packet, is it?
Oh, God, here we go. Bring on Charlie. Good evening, Charlie. You've been chosen by Nathan Bacon to represent Bristol Rovers on the Elite FPL podcast. How you doing, mate?
Evening, lads. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
good, very good.
Good. How got any questions for Nathan?
I was going to say, what do you reckon about going without Mo Salah?
Going without Mo Salah?
Yeah.
Thing with Salah is even Liverpool could do really well and he not do really well and get points.
Yeah.
So it does make sense to maybe go with a player where if their team does well, they do well. So I don't think it's the worst option, but I don't know if I'd do it right at the start, especially with the Manchester blanks. I don't know who else you'd go for.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree a bit on that. And also it's the price points as well. It's got your team up on the screen actually here. You've gone with just a 112 million price point player in Aubameyang. You've thrown some money up front as well with Vardy there. Could be a placeholder for a future Man City striker, who knows. McCarthy in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Lascelles, Vinagre. Lascelles that doesn't have a yellow flag. Vinagre, St. Maximin to Newcastle. What is this?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. No, just because they're relatively good defensively, and obviously everyone's got to have St. Maximin, surely.
Son, Aubameyang, Ziyech, Ings, Vardy, Werner. We weren't talking about bench, just a bunch of cheapies. But yeah, Nathan, initially, what's your thoughts on this team?
See goals, a lot of goals.
Yeah.
The front line, all the goals.
Yeah, so Maximin, Son, Aubameyang, Ziyech, Ings, Vardy, Werner are going to be pretty much involved in their respective teams, aren't they, up front?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And he's still got Alexander-Arnold as well. Obviously had to compromise with Lascelles a bit, but it's not a bad asset. Vinagre as well, obviously the budget way into that Wolves defence. McCarthy in goal, who's got decent fixtures, and we talked about Southampton being underachieving last season. I think they will have a good season this season.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have you been tinkering around to come up with this team then, Charlie?
I've done this. This is only my second draft. Obviously, I come on the other day with that team where I had Salah, but I just this has only just been today after I finished work. I was just tinkering around for like last couple of hours, just trying to see, because I remember you saying last week trying to or maybe go without Salah, and I just made a team to see what it'd look like, But I still think it's pretty decent. Obviously, like Nathan said, there's a lot of goals in it. Obviously, defense is a bit cheap, but obviously you're going to have to if you're going to have a lot of, Son, Ings, Vardy, Werner, and then obviously Trent in the defence. But yeah, it's a pretty obviously different going without Salah, but it could work.
I don't think it's the end of the world, because I honestly don't think it's the end of the world going without Salah. Like, I think people do go, oh, you haven't got Mohamed Salah in your team, but I think it's what you do with that money that you've saved by not having him in. You've got Son, who arguably could hit the same sort of points with the fixtures that they've got, in midfield. Jamie Vardy, that's the thing. Is like, the question is what Leicester team will start, this season. How will they start? And that money. What's your escape plan from Vardy?
Probably. Well, if Brewster goes to,
everyone's on about Brewster.
Yeah,
there's so much weight on that. There's so much weight on that young man's shoulders, isn't there? Eh? God.
I seen, like, obviously he was at Nathan's team on loan, and he was class for his first loan spell. And Championship, it's a tough league for a young kiddie, and he done well, and I think he could relish the challenge in the Premier League, especially he's been linked with Sheffield United. That could be a good place for him to start. Him and McBurney, another ex-Swansea player, linking up. So, and especially at 4.5. Sorry, the amount of money I could, if I had him instead of Vardy, then I could have Salah. I could even probably have Robertson or Van Dijk if I wanted to. So
Charlie, I have seen Vince's comment in the chat, and I wanted to ask you this anyway, and I'm sure Nathan's probably going to have it in his head somewhere as well. We obviously, the Manchester teams, we all know that Manchester teams are going to be very, very important in terms of FPL. Where are those moves for you in your team? Obviously, you've got Aubameyang at 12 million, you've got Son in at 9. What are your plans on bringing in Manchester players into your team game week 2 onwards, if you've got any at all?
I'm not sure who to have, because there's a lot of options. You got obviously Greenwood, Fernandes, De Bruyne, Sterling, even Mahrez. Mahrez is an outside punt. Obviously done well last season, even though he didn't start a lot of games. But it'd be Aubameyang out after his first 2. Even if he is doing really well, I think I'll still take him out, because then I could easily, if I wanted to, like, wild card later on in the season and get him back in for when his fixtures go better again. But yeah, probably him and Son, because Tottenham, I'm not really sure on Tottenham, because I was pretty sure on them to start off with, but I looked at the fixtures in all of the games they're playing, because they've got Europa League qualifying round to play. Then Kane and they're all playing loads of games, so it's going to be hard. But it'll probably be Son and Aubameyang out for probably De Bruyne and another player. I'm not sure yet though. Maybe Sancho. Who knows?
Set on the 3-4-3 then.
Yeah, 3-4-3. Yeah, 3-4-3.
Cool. It's pretty much similar to what a lot of the lot of the template teams we've seen, to be honest with you. Nathan, you got any other questions for Charlie before we move on to the next caller?
Nah, that's about it. Nah.
Anything to say to Nathan? Obviously, you're a reviewer. Did you see Nathan's strategy at Game Week 1? I'm going to ask loads of people that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched his videos. To keep up the quality work as well.
Thank you.
It's just hilarious watching your channel. The comments you come out with, honestly, it's quality. But yeah,
Charlie, yeah. I just want one more question, mate. Why have you got ET on your profile photo?
Why have I got what?
Why have you got ET on your profile photo?
I don't even know. That was ages ago. It must have been one of the late night hangouts we did when it was like.
Is that Jota, Aubameyang, and who's this? I can't see who the third one is.
I can't even.
Is that Calvert-Lewin? Calvert-Lewin, Jota, and Aubameyang standing in front of ET. You're the most random person I've seen on Discord. Thank you ever so much, Charlie, for coming on. You Chris back at you.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. You take care. Speak soon.
Adieu. Cheers.
Charlie, everybody. What was the first and only Bristol Rovers fan in the Elite FPL community? Oh God, we've got loads of people still. Let's try and get through them. We'll try James again. James Palin, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, James.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm super. You're on air right now with myself and Nathan Bacon. What do you want to talk about?
I was just curious about like Hakim Ziyech and like the new players and that, because it's obviously a risk bringing in new players they haven't seen in the Prem, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts on him and Werner and stuff.
I think I'll start. We know from purely their respective clubs, Ziyech is an assist king. He can spray balls around the field like a madman. I believe you call him the magician. Is that right, Nathan? I think it's what they turn him. The wizard or something. The wizard or the magician. And Werner, I mean, he's just a goal machine. Coming into the Premier League is going to be tough. Obviously, it's a different style of play. But with that Chelsea team, it's looking very attack-minded, and I think everything indicates that they're going to start the season really strong. The fixtures are there. The money's definitely there. They're building something very special at Chelsea at the moment. It's a very good time to be a Chelsea fan. So respectively, I think both Ziyech and Werner, their price points are very, very tempting. Very, very tempting. But I'm looking at a Christmas tree formation there. You've got those two tempting players in, but you've also got players that, Aubameyang, Salah, Son. I mean, players that we know, we've seen them in the Premier League. We know they can score well. You've got Armstrong. I like Armstrong as a pick. I think he's a really good player for Crystal Palace, for Southampton, starting off away at Crystal Palace. I think, you've got your bases covered there with your players, and you've got a nice 3-5-2 formation. I can't really pick any fault with it. I really can't. Nathan?
Yeah, I like it, yeah. I think the Chelsea players, they probably will do quite well. I think they're looking to just try and win every game like 7-6, aren't they? So even if they're like some of their players don't do too well, I think they'll all get minutes and they all probably will end up doing quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real kind of picks in that team where we can kind of think, you know what, I think it's a bit risky having that player. It's a pretty safe team. I would say you've got. Okay, you could argue that we don't know anything about Werner and Ziyech, so technically they're the two risks in your team. But those 9 extra players. I think it's with so many people jumping on those players as well. I don't think it is much of a risk. So I'm kind of gone back on that statement. I don't think it is a risk. It's a great team. It's a great team, honestly.
Yeah. Thanks. I was also interested in Mateus Pereira. My mum's a Championship fan, and she sees him a lot, and said he's very good. So I'm interested to see how he does as well.
I don't know a lot about him. Nathan, you watched a bit of Championship, don't you?
Yeah, I've seen him play. Yeah, he's a really good player, and West Brom do have some good fixtures at the start, so I think he could do well. But it's just always that step up that some players just can't get, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, it's fair.
That'd
It's
be
fair enough.
interesting.
That's cool, man. I mean, yeah. How long have you been a viewer of the show?
Oh, I've only just started
Awesome.
this season. You know, I've not really taken FPL that seriously, but this year I sort of want to do a lot better, get higher ranking, and yeah, I've been watching a lot of different people, but yeah, you're definitely
You've been watching Nathan?
so far.
You watching
Pardon?
Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan's hilarious. Yeah, he's really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. You subscribe to him?
Yeah. Of
You
course.
following him? You following him on Twitter?
Yeah.
Hit the notification bell as well. Make sure you know when he posts a video. There you go, Nathan. That's, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll sort out the payment afterwards. No, James, thanks for coming on, man, and sharing your team. I think it's a very safe team. It'll do well. Yeah, I like the Son pick as well. You're covering that price point in the midfield and having that Spurs asset there alongside the 2 12 millions. Yeah. I like the fact you've got the 2 12 millions and Son and Ziyech, Werner and Mitrovic without a team that looks really crap. Because, you know, that's a lot of money thrown into those players. And it's looking...
Yeah, I think also you've got to think about game week 3 with the City and United players. You know, if I wanted to, I could bring out Aubameyang, Son and Ziyech and bring in Greenwood, Fernandes and De Bruyne.
Absolutely. See, this is the thinking. This is a serious FPL thinking. I like it. This is your first proper season playing FPL and you're already coming out with that sort of rhetoric. I like it. It sounds to me like you're going to do well. And James, I look forward to having you on the show again, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
Cheers, dude. Thank you. Well, Pepe's name's been thrown around in the chat there. My brother Pepe. Pepe, I've seen a couple of drafts of Pepe. It's not for me, Nathan.
I think it's because he's cheaper than Aubameyang, and he's probably going to play the same position as him. And, you know, second season, he could do better, but he's not quite an Aubameyang, is he? So
no, not for... No, I mean, if he starts off... He's one of those players that if he starts off well, first wild cards, people are going to be jumping on him.
Yeah.
And I said that last season. You can actually watch back Gameweek Preview, Gameweek 1 Preview. I was talking about Pepe, and I was saying, you know what, guys, I'm going to hold off, because he just signed for Arsenal. I was like, I'm holding off, but when I do my wild card game week 4, he'll be one of those players that if he starts off well, I'll be getting him in. And incidentally, he didn't start off that well. Him and Ceballos was the other one. I was like, Danny Ceballos. I was like, yeah, Danny Ceballos. I've seen his YouTube video. He's going to be brilliant for Arsenal. You're going to want to get him in. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Come here for the latest tips and advice. You will succeed at FPL. Get Danny Ceballos. No. We all know how that happened. We all know what happened there. Right, let's bring on Danish. I apologise. I'm just picking random people. I don't know how long you've been waiting, but Danish Doughboy, a name that I've not read out before. Good evening, Danish Doughboy.
Hey, good evening, Jason and
Nathan. Good evening. Are you actually Danish?
Yeah, I am.
Oh wow.
I grew up in Southern California, and my mother is Danish. So the previous year, I spent it in Copenhagen, and that's where I was watching basically every single game in a Arsenal/Liverpool bar. And
Arsenal-Liverpool.
An Arsenal-Liverpool bar, and the rivalry isn't really, you know, that hardcore, so it works.
Wow. So, what's your team in the FPL then? Do you have a team that you follow?
Oh, I support Arsenal.
Oh, Arsenal,
and I was really happy about the FA Cup win, and we got the Community Shield to look forward to.
It was a good win in the FA Cup. I have to ask, as an Arsenal fan, do you have Pepe in your team?
I heard that you were just talking about him, and I think the strategy is the game week, or that we're gonna do the.
Is he gone?
What am I trying to say here? It's game week 4. If I'm gonna do a wild card, then I might put him in there. But I think Abba is just the choice. Yeah,
I think you're right there. I think the one standout pick for Arsenal is and always will be probably Aubameyang, even at 12 million in midfield. All those goals, he seems to be pretty consistent, 20 plus goals a season in midfield. It's just too tempting, isn't it? I see you got 3 Arsenal players in your team. Nathan, Arsenal fan, 3 Arsenal players. He's
Yeah.
built a team around a spine of Martinez, Tierney, and Aubameyang. Do you like this team, Nathan?
Yeah, there's no way through that defense, is there? No, but I actually think Tierney's a pretty good option. I think he's probably one of the most nailed Arsenal defenders, because even if he doesn't play on the wing back, he plays like the third centre back on the side, and he likes attacking. So yeah, I think he could be quite good this season.
Yeah, just to go on that, I see him as kind of like a Matt Doherty, because if you saw 2 of his assists to Aubameyang, how they play. They pull the opposition up to about the halfway line, and Tierney sends that ball straight over the top to Abba to run onto. I mean, it happened 2 times in the last 4 games they played, and so I see a lot of assists coming his way.
Richie in midfield, why?
Ziyech in midfield, it's the price point.
No. So Richie, sorry.
Richie, because he's 5 million. I looked at his previous stats. It looks like his goal assist contribution is pretty decent, and he's 5 mil.
Not tempted by Souček?
The fixtures were too bad, and to be honest, Richie is just a placeholder, and a lot of my decisions are also about placeholder price points. And I was deciding between because 9.5 for Werner is, I think, a value, but not sure if he's gonna score right away. But I want to be able to have the ability to get Aguero, because he always comes in form, and I'm going to need him for those 5 game weeks that he does it. So
we've seen a lot of teams tonight, and this is quite quickly becoming one of my favourites that I've seen. I do like it. Yeah, I'm
tempted by Leicester and Tottenham, but having Europa League for both of them, I don't want to invest too much, and so I have Maddison, but he will quickly become Foden.
I think
I like Foden too.
I think I'd rather play Walker Peters over Richie though.
Yeah, for the first game week.
Yeah,
but I think overall I want 3-5-2.
Nathan,
but you're right.
Nathan, anything to add to that? I mean, it's a very nice team.
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah. Yeah, me personally, I don't really focus on the formation. I prefer like choosing the players I want, and but yeah, I like Kyle Walker Peters over Richie. But yeah, I like the team. Yeah, like bigger at the back, which I think can prove quite good value. And yeah,
but the players dropping down to Maddison in midfield. I mean, yeah, again, if Leicester start well, Maddison's going to be involved.
Right.
He will be involved in the points. He's a key player for Leicester, Maddison. And if he's on top of his game, we know what he's capable of. So yeah, I think that's not too much of a risky pick. I mean, people going in with like Sir Jamie Vardy in the team, spending that money. I mean, for 7 million, Maddison, I think, could be a bit of a bargain if Leicester do start well. And that's a nice bit of coverage there. But no, I haven't got much more to add really. I mean, there's no player other than Richie that I wouldn't really look at straight away in my team, but that he's just a means to an end to have a 5 million player in your team to enable the rest of your team. So yeah.
And I have a kind of vision for the transfers as well. Like I said, it depends on Leicester's start, but I think Maddison will become Foden, which will free up the ability, hopefully, when Pulisic gets back.
Yeah.
That Ziyech will become Pulisic.
Oh, Ziyech to Pulisic? I think it's a sideways move myself.
Yeah. And then Abba will become probably Bruno Fernandes, because I just see Man United getting in the box, either flopping or really getting a penalty.
Well, they call them Barchester United.
Yeah.
But I don't see United getting as many penalties this season compared to last. I think I don't know. We got very lucky on a few occasions with VAR. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I think we kind of just got a bit too fortunate with the penalties, really, judging by it. But no, anyway, I mean, yeah, you've got plans to move out those players for Man City, Man United players, and that's what everyone's looking at the moment. Let's be honest with you. Unless they're benching them, they're going to have avenues of getting them in, and it is in those price points, isn't it? And those between 8 to 12 million, you can obviously bring in the likes of Foden, Greenwood, bring in Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, or Sterling. Sterling is someone that Steve-O mentioned it the other day. Sterling is a player that we don't see anyone talk about now. But obviously the blank game week, we know the blank game week, but we hear about people talking game week 2, game week 3 onwards. I think that miss in the Champions League, that is a Korean name, I believe.
Much.
I think that
it's
miss.
Too much. They're giving him too much. He's a great player. He's world class.
I think he's
going to
way
score more
more
than Kevin De Bruyne on his day, but I think Kevin De Bruyne will be more of that 7-point, 8-point mark, and Sterling's going to have those 15-point game weeks.
He's more explosive, yeah. He's more explosive than consistent, is Sterling, yes. But I just find it surprising that people aren't mentioning his name. That's all. We've had people with very interesting teams on tonight, but nobody mentioning so far Raheem Sterling in their plans going forward. Obviously, it's wait and see. But it's worth considering.
And I also think it's funny how we're starting an FPL season and you're not seeing any City or United players just because of the fixtures. Because they are going at the end of the season, you might be triple United and triple City.
Oh yeah, the teams are going to be swapping it. I think it's really good. This could be one of the most exciting starts to a season because of this blank game week. Because people are having to actually plan and having to think about what they're doing. Strategy is going to really push people apart from the. I hate to turn the casual and the people that kind of just like knee jerk into players, but people that don't plan and prepare are going to really suffer. I think in the first 4 game weeks, I think we're going to see that. There will be the price rises, of course. They're going to be the bandwagons,
right?
It's but hard. Some of them you can jump on. Some of them you can be a bit clever about. But essentially, nothing more to say about this team. I think yeah, it's a good one. And thank you for coming on the show.
One more question. Doherty, it's the 1.5 million more over Vinagre. And I had Kane instead of Werner just because he's a new boy and kind of plays as a number 10 more than like a poacher in front of goal. In terms of like shots, I don't know how Werner's going to do. But would you do Kane and Vinagre, or is it worth the investment in the back in Doherty and take Werner?
Have you got any money in the bank?
None. Budget spent.
I was going to say you could try and get, if you wanted Spurs, I'd probably go Son instead of Maddison and downgrade Doherty, but again, you've just 0.5 out, aren't you, on that move?
Yeah. 0.5 is always
you could possibly try and squeeze that out somewhere. Maybe if you're not going to play Rich, you could downgrade him to a 4.5, but I think that in your team, throwing out Timo Werner for Kane, will it backfire when you can upgrade? When you could just switch Maddison to Son?
Because I've got double Chelsea. That's the thing.
You have got double Chelsea. Yeah.
That's my point. Yeah. It's like, should I try to get Tottenham?
Yeah, go on.
I mean, you could just Ziyech to Son. Ziyech to Son or Werner to Kane. Which one for you, Nathan?
It's one of those ones where it's 50-50, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna go how it goes on the day. I think Kane would be a safer option than Werner, but then Doherty would be a much safer option over Vinagre. So I don't know, especially with their transfers. I think that the Wolves lineup could change. You might have Spurs cover with Doherty going to Spurs. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm also an Arsenal fan, so I feel a little better about not having Spurs in the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the core of your team's there. I mean, these things will change probably closer to as we know more about transfers and things like that.
Martinez might not start, so it might be McCarthy. But
I think Leno played their friendly the other day as well, so
he did.
I think Leno's going to be back myself. That's what I'm thinking. Wait, this can't be right. We've got 545 viewers. No way. I need to quickly check this out. No way. Hello. So many people watching us in at the moment. This is a record. This is a record stream, guys. Amazing. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. If you are enjoying it so far, please hit that like button. We're going to milk it. Let's get that likes over 200. Are they over 200 yet? I have absolutely no idea. If you hit the notification bell, you can be notified when we next go live. And also Nathan Bacon, who's joining me at tonight's stream, brilliant content creator. If you aren't familiar with him, Nathan Bacon FC. Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon.
Right now.
Right now. What does he say, Nathan? What does he say? Does he say anything after that on the recording? Does he just because you cut it, don't you? Really, like as he changes his laugh, he goes.
Yeah, it's actually like a 45-second clip, and the first part is actually cut as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I think he says, "Don't let your memes be dreams. Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe." And something else as well. I can't remember. I cut it too much.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
No, I like it. It's cheesy, but it's brilliant at the same time. Joe, be a cheeky scrub. What's this? Don't be a chicken's claw. What's that about?
Yeah, a lot of people actually think it says "Don't be a chicken scrub" because I'm Nathan Bacon.
Oh right,
so they
okay.
think it's a chicken scrub, no, but he says cheeky scrub.
That myth's been busted. There you go, Nathan Bacon. Straight from the horse's mouth. Thank you ever so much, Danish, for coming on tonight, and I hope you enjoy the content going forward and come on the show again.
Yeah, cheers, guys. It's great to see all the variety in teams. So it's great content for developing a strategy.
Brilliant. I love it. I love hearing from you and everyone else that comes on the show. Thank you, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, dude. Okay, we got Crazy Jack on. I'll bring him on. Finally, what? Quickly see what people are saying in the chat. Nathan, do you want to come out with any of the comments? What are they saying? All the millions of people that are tuning in.
Someone asked, "Is Nathan's surname Bacon?" And it's not.
Where's the bacon from?
Bacon is actually my nickname from like when I was like 10, 11 years old. Because I probably still do, but I used to really eat like a pig. So in my school, you couldn't go out to go play like football until you finish your food. So I would scarf it down within like 5 minutes, try and get out to play football as much as possible. So somebody said they called me Bacon because it sounded like Nathan, and it just kind of stuck.
There you go. Nathan Bacon was born.
There you go.
Hope we have Bacon back again. It's been a fantastic stream, says FPL Anderson in the chat. Well, I mean, if Nathan's available to come on, we will, of course, we'll invite him back on. Jason, what do you think? What do you make of Dean Henderson signing a 6-year deal at Man United? Time to get rid of David De Gea. David De Gea, at the top of his, when at the peak of his form, was world class, and I've had a lot of the things that man has done for us, in the past, keeping us, in a respectable league position and pulling off saves that were just breathtaking. Quite frankly, is the patience wearing thin? Is the question. There's been a lot of mistakes. There's been a lot of howlers. He hasn't been rested. That's my. I said months ago that I think that he just needs to have a timeout. And Romero should play. That's the latter half of the season. Very surprised in Europa that they played him. I know why they played him. I know why they continue to play him. He's on a lot of money. He's on a lot of money at United. Is it time to get rid of him? It's a real tough one, mate. I don't want to see him go. I want to see him get back to his former self, but. This is the United supporter in me. Just, I look at David De Gea and I just think what he can be, what skill he has, and he's still young. It's like his confidence is gone or something, but he's still a class. Like to me, I still consider him a brilliant world-class goalkeeper in my head, but my eyes are telling me different things. Nathan, as a non-United affiliate, talk to me about David De Gea. Do you think we have been too patient with him? Do you think we've kind of is it the time now to move him on?
Yeah, the problem is no one would probably buy him just because wages, and he's not the youngest, but like you said, he's not the oldest either, especially for a keeper. I don't know. I feel like they want to play him because he's one of those players where if you show him confidence, he will show confidence. And Dean Henderson could be an understudy, but I can't see Henderson starting at all this season, apart from the Mickey Mouse Cup and that, but not in the league. No, I think it's going to be De Gea all the way.
I think if De Gea starts to have some howlers early season, then Solskjaer's going to have to make a big decision.
Yeah.
And I honestly do think that if De Gea starts underperforming, if he starts the season like the way he's finished the season, that we will see Dean Henderson play. But I think it's how many mistakes will Ollie give? How many more chances? That's the question. But I do think that will happen if the form continues. Moving on to anyway, have you been following the friendlies and players that have played in these, i.e. Saliba, Brewster, etc.? No Ferguson for Palace. I haven't been following a lot of the friendlies, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of rotation in his games. They're not taking that seriously. Aubameyang didn't score. We shouldn't have him in the team. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Nathan, have you been following them? I've been working. I'll be honest. I've been working so many hours. I've been getting into work like 2 hours prior to my start, and I've been finishing work late, like 40 minutes, 50 minutes late. And once I'm at work, I'm switched off from football. Nobody I work with watches football. Nobody I work with wants to talk about football, and I've got no way of getting football on the radio, whether it over the internet, on my phone. I'm so busy, I can't consume it. So I normally find out about the friendlies and what's happened with them, you know, in the evenings, and I watch a few highlights. I don't get to really watch the games, and I read on Discord. That's my primary source of information that I get is Discord, and that's a great time to promote the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the show, we have got a Discord that's growing. We've got over 1,600 FPL managers in it. Oh my god, the camera's really low. Get on Discord. It's a free to use app. Just get the code in the link in the description and see you there. Come on the show. There we go. That was a 10-second plug. There we go. I had to do it sometime during the show. It's time to get up another caller. Nathan, do you want to select someone?
Who else have we got? Go on, Lucky Dip.
Lucky Dip?
I meant like do a Lucky Dip. Choose anyone.
Right, sorry. Eeny, meeny, miny, moke. Let's bring... Danish is in the waiting room still. I don't know why. Let's bring in... I think NH we tried to get on. NH earlier on in the stream. Are you there?
Hello?
Hello, NH. What can we call you? Because I'm sure that's your initials. Is that right?
Yeah.
What would you like to be called?
I mean, you could just call me NH if you wanted to, but my name.
Okay, I can call you NH, man. It's whatever, man. Whatever suits. You're live with myself and Nathan this evening. What would you like to talk about, NH?
I kind of wanted to get your opinions over Ings or Jimenez, because at the moment I currently have Jimenez in my squad, but I think with Ings, obviously he's high owned, but I'm not quite sure if he can, deliver as well as he did last season. Although I think he'll do well this season. I'm not sure if maybe he's a tiny bit overpriced. Maybe if he came in at 8 million, maybe I should consider him over Jimenez, but I'm not sure on that.
My answer? In fact, no, let's get Nathan's answer first. Go on, Nathan.
Well, Ings is the daddy, Danny Ings. I think he will do slightly better, but I don't think there's going to be much in it. I think Southampton's fixtures are a bit better, and he can more likely score more goals in the game than Jimenez. But, we haven't seen this Wolves without Europe like we did last season, so he could do better this season. So I 50-50 call for now, I think.
I think, for me, the difference between Jimenez and Ings is the explosiveness. I think that Ings could score a brace or more. I have this inkling. I don't know why, but I just feel that Ings is going to start the season really well. The fixtures are there. And I think the ceiling is higher for Danny Ings than it is for Jimenez. I think Jimenez is very consistent. He gets the assists, he gets the goals, but he doesn't tend to get many point hauls. That's my opinion anyway. I know people in the chat. It's kind of it's a bit of a polarizing response from the guys in the chat. People saying get Danny Ings, people saying get Jimenez. I mean, it's one or the other. It's a toss of the coin for a lot of people. You're either an Ings person or you're a Jimenez person. At the two, Ings. And Nathan, you said Ings as well, right?
Ings, yeah, I got Ings in my team as well. Yeah.
Has that helped you at all, NH?
A little bit. I think it's good to get other people's opinions because it helps you get an idea of how other people go into it and maybe why. It gives you kind of reasons to think different.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the form as well. Ings was in the form of his life coming the end of the season. Jimenez was just ticking on. I think the key for me is the fixtures, and I think both will score you points, but I think Ings will just get a few more. I don't think it's going to be like night and day difference between the two. I don't think you're going to see a massive disadvantage for having one or the other. But I think it's preference. Comes down to preference. Anything else?
Okay.
But yeah, go looking for your team. I mean, going with a 4-3-3 then.
Just for the first game week, because having Greenwood on my bench means I don't have to make a transfer the second game week, and then the third I can look to maybe bring KDB for Aubameyang, who looks to capitalise on that good run of. Well, decent.
You're benching Greenwood then for United, so you're doing the strategy of benching a United player. Obviously, the most cheapest United player in Mason Greenwood. So you're going to go 4-3-3 game week 1. You're going to play Mitchell up against McCarthy up against Mitchell. Mitchell for Crystal Palace. Nathan, do you know much about him?
I don't think he's going to start, but I think he's probably one of the cheapest players that could get some minutes, but I don't think he's a starter. But he's the Van Aanholt backup, and he's going to be out for the first few games. Yeah,
so it's not long term, but obviously it's a placeholder for Greenwood anyway, isn't it? Game week 2 onwards. But I mean, this is just an example, isn't it, of having to put 7.5 on the bench, of money, and how it affects your starting lineup. And the defense is very weak in terms of it's not a strong defense there. Obviously, in terms of price points and money, it's probably the best you can get for that value, for those value. Obviously, Vinagre, Justin, Mitchell there to be able to bench Greenwood in your team. It's not something that I like to do, but I know that there are a lot of people that are going to be benching United and City assets game week 1. Do I think it affects your team to the point where it's going to be detrimental and you'll be seeing a big red arrow? No, I don't think so. I think you've got the staples. You've got the Salah, Aubameyang picks, Werner's there too, Jimenez or Ings or Mitrovic. They're all goal scorers. They're always point scorers. So Maximin as well is popular. I think you can, if that's the way you want to play it. I don't think it's going to backfire too much. But and you're going to be obviously going to have the luxury of having and owning a Man United player come game week 2, moving forward. So yeah. Is that something which you've considered, Nathan, recently? Just putting some money, putting the United player on the bench, or
in my current draft, I have him on the bench. I always think about it if he was halfway through the season and you had one of those players and they had a blank game week, would you get rid of him if you know they're going to come back straight after? And it's kind of the same now, where if you know they're going to just miss the first week, then you could save yourself a transfer.
Lots of surprising amount of people saying that Mitrovic is going to be a bit of a dud. I mean, the chat says, Experience the Storm says, with a fixture run, Mitrovic won't be a dud for long, if at all. I mean, was it yourself, Nathan, called him the Undertaker of FPL?
The Serbian Undertaker, yeah, Serbian beast.
Yeah. I just want to own him. He literally is bully to the defenders around him, and the teams he's up against, they're not exactly the most staunch of defenses, are they? I mean, he's going to be getting headed goals. He's going to be a poach in the box. He's going to be choke slamming defenders left, right, and centre, getting the odd yellow card here and there. But he's going to. I think he'll do well. But NH, you got any final questions before you move on? So we move on to the next caller.
No. I think that was it. Thank you.
It's your first time on the show, right?
Yeah.
What made you call in tonight?
I don't because I found your channel when I was watching, because what I like to do, I like to watch loads of FPL content creators and kind of get an over opinion. And I found your channel, I think it was a few weeks ago, and I started watching then.
Is that through this like recommended sort of the YouTube algorithm where it kind of recommends another channel? Did you say you found us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be the most popular way of people discovering us at the moment. I think it's due to the amount of likes we're getting on the videos. So there you go, guys. You're doing your job. You're doing a good job there. Thank you so much, NH, for coming on the show this evening. And I hope to, again, like I say to everyone, I hope to hear from you again and hear exactly what you do with your Jimenez-Ings dilemma. And if you do go ahead with benching Greenwood game week 1. Cheers, NH.
Yep.
Cheers, buddy. Ross Rosiat, the cheese, I think that was. Thank you very much for the subscribe. We're bringing on Crazy Jack because Crazy Jack's been waiting for a long time. Crazy Jack, aka the Lacazette fan club. How many people are in the Lacazette fan club at the moment, Crazy Jack?
-1.
-1. Are you?
Go on.
I don't want to keep bringing it up when I see your name in the chat. But it's just all my memories of last season was you just basically trying to convince me every time you came on the show that I was wrong and that I should be bringing Lacazette into my team, and then replying back to you saying there's no way that I'm bringing Lacazette into my team. What is the player that I am not thinking about this season that I should be thinking about? Crazy Jack.
Brewster. I mean, that's not even like a meme thing. Like Brewster's generally going to be insane. Wherever he at the moment he's Liverpool's best player right now from the friendlies. I know the friendlies, but he's come on and saved them in the 2-0 loss against RB Leipzig. He got 2 goals. Yeah, he's got 3 goals in 2 games. He's been Liverpool's best player. There's talk of Sheffield. If he goes to that'd be outrageous. But even for Liverpool, I reckon he'll get appearances. And for a bench player, that's kind of what you want. So I reckon Bruce is going to be insane.
Yeah, and the value is, I've seen him in a lot of drafts. Obviously, I just assumed that early on, pre-season, I just assumed it was just the best at the price point. But it's genuinely, if he makes a move, he could be that hidden gem or that golden nugget that we all see.
He's going to be last season's Greenwood, but better because he'll probably play more games, more time, because he was insane for Swansea. I mean, I followed Swansea when he came in. He got us into playoffs. He was insane for us.
So talk me through the style of play that Brewster. What is he? Is he like just an out and out striker? I haven't really seen the lad. Sorry.
He can do a bit of everything really. He's more like he's got pace, insane pace, but his finishing as well is insane. They do kind of play him as like a lone striker,
like on the last man, sort of like on the last man all the time.
Yeah, but it's not like he can't deal with a 2v1. He can do it on his own.
I was going to ask you, what's his like physically? Like, could he keep up with the defenders in the Premier League? That's the question. Can he hold his own? Like we saw, you mentioned Greenwood, but we also saw that Greenwood really did rip himself up in the gym. Like he filled out quite a bit, and I honestly think that there's a lot to be said about having a lot of strength in the Premier League, because there's a lot of big centre backs, and I think that's what a lot of like talented players from the continent. Obviously, Bruce is different, but a lot of the talented players that come across from the continent come and have a stark realization that we're a lot more physical in the league, especially the Premier League. And you say that Swansea, obviously, Championship. That is pretty much what you see in the Championship as well. So again, it's kind of that kind of point is kind of up for debate. Brewster, if he goes to Sheffield United, is he going to be in your team?
Yeah, absolutely. 4.5 mil. Like he can, because if with my team, like I could literally replace him with Souček and go 4-4-2. Like I can work around that rotation. He'd be like a genuine starter. And for 4.5 mil, like you're not expecting much as like the fifth, before you had Souček as the 5th midfielder. but he could be a genuine. He could easily outdo Mitrovic and the 6.5 mils. He can keep up with them easily. Like he's gonna and he'll give you so much value to spend elsewhere.
Yeah. He could be the key enabler for a bigger, stronger midfield.
No, yeah, Brewster's gonna be big this season.
Wow. I mean, it's a wait and see on what happens with Brewster. Really, Dread FPL is a fan. Although I think he might have moved ahead of Origi. Should get time in cup games at the odd cameo. I don't think Liverpool will send it out on loan personally. Yeah, I think you're talking about Brewster there. I think, will Liverpool sell him if an offer comes in though? That's the question. Someone that talented.
I don't think they'll sell him. They'll just, because they, like, Klopp's talked very highly of him, and I think he just will loan him out more now.
So they will loan him out.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because right now he's, like I said, he's been Liverpool's best player.
He's not going to get into that Liverpool team, though, is he? Let's be honest.
I don't know.
He isn't. Like, you speak to even Liverpool fans, they'll tell you that you've got to try and dislodge Mane, Firmino, and Salah. I mean, how does he fit into that equation?
I mean, if he keeps up this form, I couldn't see why he can't replace Firmino. I can't see him replace Salah or Mane, no, but Firmino.
Well, Firmino does a lot. I mean, the way that Liverpool play, the link-up play between him and Salah, I mean, it's pretty evident that Klopp really appreciates the work rate that Firmino puts into the team. Really, there's a lot of stuff that he does that doesn't get appreciated by people that watch the games because he doesn't score the goals. He doesn't score. He's normally the assister to the assister. But I do think that people saying Bruce doing the cup games.
Well,
I think it'll do him good if he gets loaned out. I mean, and again, Robert Moore brings up the point. Minamino as well. He was brought in. Money spent on him.
No, but another thing is you got to bear in mind, like a lot of people have got one forward as a sub. Like the 4.5 mils at the moment aren't very good. So I reckon Brewster can come on for like 30 minutes. So if you need him to come on for that appearance, that's fine. So he could just be like a substitute guy that could go well. But I reckon he can go beyond that. So in worst case, he's just on your bench and he'll get you points if you need them.
I mean, at 4.5, what do you? I mean, 4.5. We were doing that with Greenwood before he started getting starts. Before he started getting regular starts, we just had him as just in case he came on and impacted the game, which he was doing. No, it's a fair enough point. We'll obviously wait and see on that. I personally think if Brewster stays at Liverpool, we won't see much of him in the Premier League. I'm looking forward to be proven wrong on that, purely because of the pecking order at Liverpool at the moment. But his form is undeniable. He is in form pre-season. He is a good player. He's done it for the teams that he's been loaned out to. It's a headache. It's a headache for I keep getting my names wrong. It's a headache for Klopp to deal with straight away. Definitely, it's been a long day for me. I think that you might be onto something there, and I think a lot of people in the Discord have been banging on about him as well. So, yeah, wait and see for me. But I'm not going to be getting him in just yet. But it's a wait and see.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's cool. Anything finally you want to say before we move on to the next caller?
Yeah. Do you think people are overrating Southampton? I particularly think. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an answer. Right. I think an answer. I'm quick, but I'm not that quick.
Especially, I reckon people are overestimating Southampton. I don't think they're going to do great. And from like an FPL point of view, they're defensively, I don't think they're going to do great. They're not a very. When I think of Southampton, I don't think defense. I just think Ings, and I reckon teams will catch on to it. Because I remember before the fixtures came out, no one was picking McCarthy over Button. No, sorry, not Button.
Pope.
Ryan. No, Ryan.
Ryan. Sorry, the price put 4.5.
Yeah. Before the fixtures came out, everyone was picking Ryan because they thought they were a better team. Then when fixtures came out, everyone switched to Southampton.
Southampton are no mugs. I think they're a good team. I think that they're building something there, and they've got some quality players. I think Walker Peters is a great player. I think he's going to be a good asset for a lot of people in their fantasy football teams.
I see the value in I see the value in Armstrong.
Armstrong's a good player.
Yeah, for his price,
Che Adams as well.
Good because Southampton are a good attacking team. Like, but I mean Armstrong's on kind of some set pieces, I believe, isn't he? No, it was more Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse mainly, but I mean, looking at we were talking about earlier on about save points. You say I think McCarthy will get those save points.
But that's why for my team I've gone for Meslier. Because I think Leeds are a better team, a better defensive team. Same price, I reckon they'll be the better team for save points. I know the fixtures aren't great, but
the fixtures are horrendous. But
you want your goalkeeper you want to keep it just to set and forget, and that's why
this team looks like this team right now looks to me like the team that I've seen a lot of prior to the fixtures being released. Like,
you reckon?
Well, with the Leeds, obviously Meslier in goal. I mean, you've got Douglas on the bench there as well for Leeds. I saw him as well in a lot of pre-fixture release teams. I mean,
well, he's there because Ferguson's apparently injured now, and because Ben White's confirmed not going back to Leeds. Leeds right now are missing a centre back, and there's this talk that for the first few fixtures, Dallas will go centre back, Douglas will fill left back until they get a new centre back. And if he has to come on for 1 or 2 games, then that's all I need him to do.
So you don't think the Leeds are going to be the whipping boys?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I reckon Fulham, West Brom. I reckon Southampton are more likely to be whipping boys than Leeds, per se.
Okay, no, interesting. And Nathan, you obviously watched a bit of Leeds as well in the Championship last year. Are they that solid at the back?
Yeah, they are. And the way they play, they press all the time, which I think
I've heard that they're quite
to the Premier League as well.
I've heard that they're very slow at building up, really slow at building up, and they possess the ball and then they press when they're not in possession, and it's like it's not fast football per se. It's like slow build up, but maybe.
But that's before because they had Bamford up front and he's pretty much a donkey. Like he wasted so many chances for him. But
what's the hate on Bamford? Like there's so many people that just mock him.
He's not because they could have scored so many more goals. And I think I think Leeds people hate him because if he scored those goals, Leeds would have won the title ages ago rather than being we just got in. But no, they're signing Rodrigo.
Yeah,
who's meant to replace. So if they replace him, he should fill in for Bamford, and then suddenly Eiling and Dallas actually become really good. Because I was thinking going into this, Leeds are a good defensive team, but they're not a good attacking team, so they're not going to get the assists or goals you're expecting because they don't really finish well. But with Rodrigo jumping in, they could suddenly become really good. But obviously, you don't get Eiling or Dallas until their fixtures are good.
I don't know much about Rodrigo, but I've just Sean Harden in the chat said that Rodrigo only got 4 goals for Valencia last season. How many games did he play to get those 4 goals? I mean, Leeds aren't in the forefront of my mind purely because of the fixtures. Again, it's a different thought process. Meslier in goal, Liverpool away. Oh, mate, I wouldn't be surprised if you get 0 for it. Maybe.
No. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but that's what I mean. With a set and forget goalkeeper, he's going to get nothing against the big teams.
Yeah, you play for the long run. You set it up for the long run. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I can expect against Fulham, Sheffield United, Man City. Nah, but Wolves. I'm thinking long term.
I think Wolves will do well against Leeds.
No, but it depends. Obviously, it depends how they do. But with a set and forget, I'm not expecting anything against Liverpool. I'm not expecting a clean sheet there, but I'm expecting save points. And I think I think Southampton are just not going to keep many clean sheets. They're not a very good defensive team. They're an attacking team.
Okay, and how likely are you how likely is this team to be your team game week 1? Like out of all of the picks here, I mean, Saliba is a player that I'm seeing a lot of being mentioned in the Arsenal.
He did well in the preseason. If he starts the Community Shield, he will stay. If not, I might guess someone else. But to be honest, I'm waiting as well just to get a Burnley player back in once I can, because my week 2 transfers are, as I said before, Son and Maddison out for De Bruyne and Greenwood. I'll take the -4 just to get him in before I get priced out. And then I'll probably switch.
Very good transfers.
Yeah, and then week 3, I'll probably switch Saliba to one of the Burnley boys, because I know Arsenal's next 5 fixtures defensively aren't great.
So you're not going to be looking to switch out. I know we've touched upon Meslier, and you're going to set him in, but you're not considering possibly the switch to Pope. We're freeing up some money.
What? Pope? He's 1 mil more, isn't he?
Yeah, but like freeing that money up. You talked about downgrading Son, and obviously bringing in Greenwood. So it's definitely the transfers in midfield will be KDB and what did you say? Was it Greenwood and
Greenwood and KDB? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
I think at the price point. I mean, Nathan, you've been quiet for quite some time. Do you want to chip in on this lineup and the plan that we've got ahead of us?
Yeah, well, I guess set and forget keeper, you do have to just go for it, and even if it doesn't work out first, till the first wild card, you can change it there. I think Southampton will be good, because if you look at the form after restart, I think that's more relevant, and they were a lot better defensively, and they weren't even had anything to play for. We saw it a lot where there was a lot of teams that didn't have anything to play for, were just crumbling, but Southampton were actually doing really well. I think Leeds can do well though.
Okay, yeah. So where do you see Leeds finishing up? Just Crazy Jack at the end of the season. Where do you see them in the table realistically?
10th, 12th. I reckon that they won't be in a relegation battle, but I reckon they'll be 48, 50 points.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent.
I would say a good 6 to 8 points ahead of relegation. About that area. So
I think Leeds fans will take that all day long.
Yeah, I don't reckon they're going to get relegated at all. I reckon, if we're going to Southampton, Leeds, Southampton are more likely to go down. I don't trust them. I think they're going to rely too much on Ings, and I think teams will work around just marking him.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. It's getting on a bit now. Crazy Jack, thank you for coming on the show, dude, and talking to us about Leeds and Meslier as you set and forget. Thank you, buddy, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you.
In Game Week 1 and onwards. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you. Bye.
God, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a marathon stream. I just looked at the time. It's coming on to 25 minutes past 10 in the evening. We have had some record viewers this evening. I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to say a massive thank you to Nathan Bacon, who's joined us this evening as well. Guys, a reminder to check his channel out on YouTube, Nathan Bacon FC. Pretty much, we'll be doing every other day, isn't it, for yourself?
At least video going up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Everyone try and do that as well. So
do you premiere any of your videos?
I used to, but with a lot of I find with FPL videos, people want to watch it from the start.
Yeah.
And I noticed with a lot of we're premiering, a lot of people will join halfway through and they wouldn't watch it all, and then they miss half of the point of the video. Especially for these videos where, for instance, the one I did with a bench boost and wildcard, if you miss the first 2 minutes of that, you have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, but Nathan, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. These 2 hours and 26 minutes have flown by for me. I don't know if it's the same for you, but the callers we've had on have been very interesting. We've had a good diverse group of people. We've had a lot of new faces showing up in the chat as well, with new faces subscribing to the channel. So I want to give an update as well. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers, and I can say right now that today's stream has made us 21 away from 4,000. So if there's 21 people that are watching at the moment that aren't subscribed, and they might like to hit that subscribe button, we might make the 4,000 mark right now this evening, and that'll be awesome. I want to say thank you again to all the moderators that do an amazing job in the chat, keeping everyone in check. I want to say thank you for everyone that's commented as well. I've read through a lot of them, not always able to read them out on stream. The people that tune in on Facebook and people tuning on Periscope and Twitch as well. I know there's people there. I am noticing you, FPL Stevie. Where's big lad Steve-O? Well, believe it or not, he's been granted a holiday and he's on the beach in the wind at the moment. But yeah, I want to say thank you all for the support, and we were looking forward to announcing the Invitational League come game week 1. That's going to be very competitive. There's going to be a lot of rivalries forming in that. And there's also a lot of leagues that are being formed by the community as well. Get involved, get on Discord, talk to us about that. Other than that, we'll go through any final chats here. We got hit the like button. Good stuff, fellas, as Ace Ventura and Daniel Jarman's not a fan of Leeds, apparently. Messi to City, let's go, says Alan. Oh, come on, it's old news now. We don't want to talk about that. Nice stream. Thank you, Gabriel DeRop. Thank you, Brew. Thank you, Antoine, and all the jazz. Thank you, guys. We are now going to give you another update of where we're at. We are now at 17 away. There we go. Right, guys, all the best. Nathan, thank you, buddy. You got any final thoughts?
Just thank you so much for having me on. Hopefully it's not the last time. And yeah, make sure you hit this subscribe button on this channel. You can get it.
Nathan Bacon FC, guys, you probably know, but he provides some of the best content you can get for FPL. And I'm not just saying it because he's here. I don't watch that many content creators on YouTube. I haven't got time, but Nathan's one of those that you can just, no matter what the mood you're in, you can just sit down, watch Nathan's video, and have a bit of a giggle at some of the beautifully put together videos that he does. Thank you, Nathan, again, and we'll have you on again. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.